Okay, I just began recording.
No, you didn't. You liar.
Yeah,
Bastardo.
Unbelievable. I can't believe you would record me without my consent. What are you, my government?
Yeah. Dang
I
it.
have your consent written right here. Yeah. This is the Shonen BattleCast.
This is the episode one of the
Welcome.
Shonen BattleCast.
We
Yeah.
talk about
I am Mike. My pronouns are he, him. Guess what? I'm Mike. I bet you
oh.
didn't know that.
Oh, I'm Dylan, and I don't have
oh, you were
pronouns
Dr.
because
Farm.
those are gay.
Yeah.
Dylan, what a head what a
I'm
what
sorry,
an
I
intro.
didn't mean to offend you. No, go ahead.
Dylan's pronouns are he, him.
That's true.
Fun fact.
Dylan
That's a
shits his
fact.
pants like a baby.
That is also a pretty fun fact.
Yes, it
A
is.
very fun fact.
Yeah. And you are?
Mysterious.
Joshua fucking Tomar,
No, you're not.
What?
the creator of the Tomar Emeralds.
No, you're not. Who are you? Who are you?
Hi, my name's Ash. I like to pretend to be a cute anime girl on the internet.
Oh,
Did that come through at all?
yes, it did.
I heard.
I heard it.
I guess to Mike it will be forever a mystery.
Good. That's all we need.
Okay. Black
Hey.
Clover.
What? Black Clover? No. Wait.
Oh.
You're going too fast, Mike. You have to slow
Damn
down.
it, Damn it.
You have to slow down.
I can't. I'm in the fast lane.
Nobody
of
knows
life.
what we're doing yet.
We need to
I
explain
do.
the podcast and what it's about.
Yeah.
I know what we're doing.
That's what it says right there. Can you read?
No.
Oh,
Can't see the fucking tiny squiggles on the screen, Mike.
That's true. They are very tiny. I gotta lean in. Can you feel me leaning in? Can you feel me through your screen?
yes.
Dude, I'll
Okay.
kick you through the screen.
So what are we doing, Dylan?
Oh,
What-
we're talking
what is
about
this?
manga and stuff.
Yeah, we're talking about shonen manga, and also sometimes not manga and not shonen, and also sometimes maybe there'll be more of us.
Yeah, it's like anything goes, basically.
Yeah,
The
dude.
rules are ours. They are clay that we may mold as we please.
Yeah. So we're gonna be talking about fucking I can't Black
Black
Clover.
Clover.
Back cover. We're talking about that
cover.
tonight.
The back cover of Black Clover.
Yes, back Clover.
Back cleaver. We're gonna cleave
Okay.
you in the back.
Yeah, so we've actually read like the first like I guess 3 arcs. I guess you could consider.
It's like one,
Yeah,
two,
we're like-
3, 4. It's 4. Like the
Okay.
opening arc. We did
Okay.
the opening arc. We did the Saussy Village Arc. We did the dungeon arc, and we did the capital invasion arc.
Yeah,
We had
it was
chapters 1 through 37.
yeah. It's kind of
Which
like some like mini arcs basically all put together. I think we're doing I think 5 episodes of this in total, like at least for now until the series is like over or like has progressed a lot more. What was it? Okay, so this one is going to be what we just said, the first like 4 arcs or whatever.
Yeah,
next
through chapter 37 and through anime episode 27.
Oh, okay. I didn't even consider the anime episodes, to be honest. Um,
It's because you're
Yeah.
a scrub.
next time we'll be talking about the like the
Oh, we should say
The
first
arc-
we're gonna be talking spoilers up
Oh,
to
yeah.
and including like where the anime is, at least for this episode. We'll get into more like manga only stuff in the later, like the last episode probably. But
yeah.
for now, if you're not caught up with the anime, you may want to do that because we'll be talking some spoilers.
Yeah, or just like don't listen to this. You don't need
Yeah.
to. Or
Don't
I'm not,
listen to
I'm not
this.
forcing you.
Click off. now.
Who told you could watch this episode?
This is a private conversation.
Wait,
Wait, you're posting this on the internet?
How could you, Dill? Dill Pickle. How dare?
I don't know what to say for myself.
Fucking frightening Dan betraying us like that.
Anyways, fucking, I was just explaining how we're dividing up the series.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
talk about that. Do
yeah.
that.
So we're doing this episode, and then the next episode is going to be I don't know what the names of the arcs are exactly, but it's
It's
like
the
what
it's the
what arc is that?
The Gosha's sister arc, and then the
Sure.
Atlantis arc.
Well,
yeah,
it's
then the Atlant.
the water temple arc is the second arc in that episode, but the first arc I don't
Yeah.
know what it's called. I honestly don't.
Yeah, and that's because of the problems with it, which we'll get into next episode.
Oh, cool.
But
bet
yeah,
there's
then
problems.
episode 3 we'll move on to the Witches Forest and also the Royal Knights tournament
Exam.
arc.
The tournament, yeah, whatever. Exam.
This episode will be
It would be like the war arc or whatever.
Yeah, the war arc.
Reincarnation, whatever the fuck it's called. Some
Whatever,
people call it
yeah.
reincarnation.
Well,
That should be
we
the
do-
last.
The Gosha's sister arc is called the Eye of the Midnight Sun arc. I guess
very
Is
that's
it really?
very descriptive. It's not like they're involved
not
in
like they're in
every arc.
every arc after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even the arc where they're introduced because like they're introduced in this like section that we read.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll be that'll be like the 4 episodes we do.
official
Maybe
title.
we'll do like the aftermath of that, like because they do a few chapters of like aftermath.
Well, I figured that would be like connected, right?
Yeah,
But also what I was thinking is that section is actually really large, so like we might
Maybe
end
we'll
up
do it
having
in
to split
two.
it in two, but we'll figure that out, like
We'll
when
play
we
it by-
get there.
yeah, we'll play it by ear.
Yeah. Like depends, we'll read through it and everything, we'll see
Okay.
how much it is. Anyways, so that's how we're going to be dividing it up. Those are the plans as of now. We'll be doing other series afterward, but it's still not like entirely finalized.
Yeah,
So we'll get into
we're
that
being
later.
flexible.
Yeah.
But we got some other shonen shows
Yes.
and manga lined up for y'all.
And also non-shonen shows, and also non-manga, and
Exactly.
also
You're learning.
yeah, just stuff in general. Okay.
But yeah, before we get into it, let's just say like we're all caught up with the manga, all 3 of us.
Yes.
Dylan, I think you caught up first out of the 3 of us.
Yeah, I mean I watched the anime like as it was airing, like the first season that it aired, I like didn't watch it, and then I watched it like after that season because I thought it was just like gonna be like a one season anime, but I just like kept watching.
Mhm.
And then it never ended.
Yeah, and it never ended. It's still going. Oh my god.
It's still going.
Yeah.
Ash, then you caught up after
Well,
him?
yeah, we watched it together afterwards.
Yeah, we watched the anime together, and then you were catching up on the manga because we were telling you how good it was.
Yeah, I
and
caught
then
up on the
shortly after you
manga
caught
like
up, I
this
caught
year.
And shortly after you like surpassed where I was, I caught up also.
Yeah, so now we're all caught up with the manga.
Yeah.
Um,
in
it's pretty
future
cool.
series, we're gonna try to have a better mix of like caught up opinions versus like maybe like first impressions opinions.
We'll be
But
doing
for now,
some of
it's-
us will be doing it blind, some of us will be not. And just a mix in general.
Yeah.
But we're gonna try to like alternate because like we're gonna try to hopefully for the next series we're gonna do something that like either most or all of us just haven't had any like experience
Much
with,
experience
and then we're gonna alternate basically. So we
Yeah,
might have a
we'll
lot more
mix it-
experience with the one after that, etc.
Mix it up. Keep things fresh.
Yeah, that's the good stuff.
But
The good
first,
stuff.
we're going into Black Clover.
Yeah.
Dylan, why don't you kick us off?
Well, I actually I wasn't sure if we should go over the one shot first or if we should just dive right into like the actual story.
I
I
put
think
my
we
notes
should-
for the one shot at the end, but if you guys want to do it first, that's cool.
I think we should do chapter 1 first, then do the one shot
Yes.
so we can like compare them and then move on
Yeah,
to like the
So,
future stuff.
yes, that I like that idea.
So chapter 1. Start us off.
Oh man, let me pull up my
Start us
notes. I have a lot of fucking notes for chapter 1.
You did.
I do.
Dude, I love how the first thing we see about the main character is how he's exceptionally horny for
Aha.
like a tertiary character.
Well, yeah, of course. What do you expect? It's shonen.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
It's like an innocent horny.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Ichigo was never horny.
I don't know. I don't
He
know about
wasn't.
that.
Not really. Hold on one second. So
That
where's
is
Also-
literally my first note.
I want to bring something up about the very start of chapter 1. How
Okay.
fucking small is this kingdom? Because
Oh.
we get a little like some narration, and then we get like a little glimpse of into the capital of this kingdom, and then we cut to the main setting of the first chapter, Hajj Village, right on like the outskirts of the kingdom. But like, and we see a couple like farmers in the fields, and they're commenting on how there's like a big ruckus in the capital because the super awesome Magic Knights, they just came back from a super successful mission. They're all celebrating. And then we cut to Hajj Village on the outskirts, and they're like, big ruckus in the capital. And they can like see the capital from their little farms. And apparently they can hear like the ruckus going on. And it just looks like a mile or two in
That's
scope.
so
that one panel that I sent in the chat.
I didn't even consider that, but
So-
you might be onto something.
I don't think they can literally hear the ruckus. I think it's just like a metaphor for like word has gotten out, like the word has spread like by like travelers and stuff.
I guess
I mean,
yeah.
it is pretty small. Like it's a small kingdom, it seems, because they can see the capital, but it also kind of makes sense because like the way it works is the elevation goes up increasingly as you get closer to the capital, and the capital is like on the top of a mountain. It's like elevated above the rest of the kingdom. So
That's true. That was in your notes because you wanted to talk about how
Yeah.
that reflects like the classism in Black Clover.
yeah, it because there's like different levels. It's kind of like uh have you ever seen like those like pictures of like how they do like farming in like Greece and like mountainous places like that where they have like different like levels?
I
And,
have
Yeah,
actually, yeah.
It reminds me a lot of that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's also kind of like a caste system, and like it's just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
interesting.
not much social movement, and that's
Yeah,
something.
definitely not.
Classism, nobility, and stuff like that. So that's a big part of Black Clover. Not much in chapter 1 though, which is an odd thing because it's such a huge part of the theme.
Yes.
It's mostly just talked about early on. Not much
yeah.
is seen.
They do kind of like drive it in pretty far when they do get to it, though.
Oh yes.
Yeah, it's
That's
something that's definitely hammered in later on, but early on it's oddly scarce. Aside from like background douchebags saying like, "Oh, these peasants
This comes from the boonies.
from the fucking sticks."
You fucking sewer
All right,
rat.
so I have another note that we kind of like skipped over a little bit to get to that classism thing and like
Yeah, good.
So
Mhm.
right on page 5, which is like basically like the first page, like after the like introduction
Narration.
part where like it shows like the demon and stuff. We actually get to see our like first glimpse at the Wizard King and like the captains.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
actually some of them like the designs just like don't match up. So it seems like they were like early designs for the captains and they were like scrapped.
I don't think those are necessarily all captains. It just says the Wizard King has returned. Once again, he succeeded in leading the Magic Knights to defeat the invaders. Very
Yeah,
good exposition from that crowd,
but-
man. But like,
They
I
all
don't-
have
I-
unique, like pretty cool, unique designs. So you would think they would stand out even if they weren't captains. We would have, at least met them at some point.
yeah, because we can see like in the middle, it's obviously the Wizard King, and that design matches up. And around him, we could see Fuego, Leon, Charlotte, and Jack.
Yeah.
But there's also a guy with some
Some like
eyes on
eye-looking
his robe.
things.
There's a dude with
Yeah.
a jacket between Fuego and Julius. There's
Yeah.
a guy with a big carrot-looking ponytail on the far left.
Parrot-looking ponytail.
So another
That's what it
thing
looks
is,
like.
if you look at Jack, his design isn't even finalized. Like they didn't even finalize the design for like the green
Oh, yeah,
praying
his-
mantis like
his cape is
outfit and
different.
stuff. Yeah, it's
Right.
and we don't really get a such a great look at Fuegoleon's outfit, but Charlotte's looks mostly the same.
I like her outfit.
Yes, yes.
Oh yeah,
I like her
she's
outfit a
cool
lot.
as hell looking.
Yeah.
Um,
So
Okay, so do you guys have
moving on
anything
from-
else on that?
nah, let's move on to our first glimpse at the main character, Asta.
Oh, wait, hold on. I
What?
just realized something. I
What's
just
that?
looked at the panel that you were talking about earlier, where it like shows the capital and like the kingdom.
Yeah.
There is like literally like symbols like denoting that sound is coming from the capital.
Yeah, I think those are like fireworks.
Oh, maybe they could be fireworks. Yeah.
But like they can still see the fireworks all the way in the
Yeah.
house. How small is this place?
What is
Jeez.
up with that?
Although I guess that does make the scene like late in the invasion arc where all the people like arrive from
Yeah.
way out in the sticks super
Yeah.
fast. I guess that makes this makes that more sense, but like listen to me talk, this makes that more sense. I'm stupid.
You
Okay.
fucking Sasquatch.
What the fuck?
Can't believe it. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
that is kind of funny. But yeah, Asta, he's our main character. And
Fucking-
people don't like how we scream.
I thought Yuno was the main character.
You know as much as I do.
Come on, dude. We all know the real main character is Finral.
The real main character is Sister Lily. She's gonna be the wizard nun.
the wizard nun.
Yeah. I mean, she technically is. Everybody's a wizard. Everybody's
Yes.
ghosts.
I guess so.
She gets to be the Wizard King's personal cum depository.
Dylan,
Ooh.
I guess we didn't talk about the age rating of the show. Dang.
Yeah. We may have to believe that's a nun. How could you? But yeah,
I won't
we-
apologize.
You don't have to. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
It was
Uh,
unexpected.
yeah. I did not expect that from you. Can't even believe it. Yes, stinky. Asta, he's a guy, and he's real stubborn.
Well, yes, that is his character. He's very stubborn.
There's a certain charisma in just how stubborn he is, though.
Yeah, it's like he's like a little puppy dog. He just keeps wanting to play, and you're like, no, I gotta do stuff, and he's keeps going after you, like, come on, let's play. You know, like,
really
oh, you little
is.
Yeah.
scamp.
One thing that's actually really cool about this, even though it's like this constant joke that he is like he keeps asking the nun to like marry him, is that like even though it's annoying, it kind of like establishes like early on before like anything really happens, like it establishes how like he has like this this thing to him where he just won't give up about like he'll never give up, like he just keeps trying over and over again.
Yeah, it's a
like-
very good establishing moment.
Like,
Yeah.
character moment early on.
He
If it
doesn't-
happened later, I'd be very
Yeah.
annoyed by it.
Like he doesn't even it's even before like any combat or like action happens at all, and we
Yeah.
already get
Yeah.
this like really good sense of like his mentality.
Yeah, it's a good way. It's a good like nice little comedic setup to like how he'll actually act when the chips are down, so it's not really a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool assessment of it.
Yeah, and then there's Yuno.
You know,
he
is there?
is he's got a turtleneck.
The babe magnet.
Yeah, he's a babe. He's a babe magnet. He is a babe who is a babe magnet.
He's a
And,
babe
um,
and a magnet.
I don't think he's either of those actually, but
He's a-
you can
he's a-
just go ahead, go along with
he's
that.
a-
That's fine.
He's a babe pig in the city.
Okay.
Excuse me? What does that even
It's,
mean,
it's, a,
Mike?
it's a movie or
It's
whatever.
a movie.
I've never seen the movie.
It's about a pig in the city, and his name is Babe.
Yeah, I saw it when I was a kid, but I don't remember anything about it.
Dude,
You
that's my
know.
part of Black Clover where they sit down and watch Pig in the City
Yeah, that's great.
on their fucking TVs that they all just have.
Yeah, magical TVs. Ah, TVs.
Um,
You know, he's kind of a he's a quiet dude, and he's very blunt. He just lays out all the reasons why Asta's kind of shitty, and Asta really has no he doesn't really have any like retort outside of like you're a dick. But he's like it's like a loving you dick, like because they're brothers.
Hmm.
They're like brothers.
Well,
not
yeah,
like,
they're like foster brothers basically.
yeah. Well,
That's cool.
they're orphans, and they showed up on the doorstep of this church one day when they were babies, and like it's
Run
funny.
by-
The anime like shows us the priest of the church finding them, and he's like, "Are you brothers? No, you can't be brothers because you're acting differently." As if
Yeah.
Yeah,
as
that's
if
how
bro-
babies works.
Yeah, as if brothers need to like be like have the same emotions.
Yeah,
They
it's
like-
a little weird. This is
You
just
know,
kind of like
also
a
it's
like fucking newborns. They wouldn't have any like developmental like
yeah.
Yeah,
shit to share.
it's an odd line of logic.
Well, it's kind of like a normal thing in like anime and manga. Why did I say anime? Anime, whatever. In like just like this kind of like fiction, it's just weird. Like they always like ignore that like the actual logic of like genetics and like nature versus nurture, but like it I don't know. It's just like I guess it's just for younger kids to like understand it better. That's
Yeah, it's-
probably it, honestly.
It's so they can like avoid any like long-standing questions. Are Asta and Yuno like brothers by blood, or are they just orphan brothers? The author really just doesn't want us to think that they're like blood brothers, so he just has them say, "Nah, we don't think we are, so we're not." And it's not gonna
Yeah.
come up again. But I guess that's getting us focusing on the wrong things and onto the right things.
Exactly.
So yeah, Asta and Yuno, those are our main characters here. Yuno's good at magic, Asta's sucky.
Asta literally can't do magic at all, which
And,
makes him like the only guy in the world like that.
Yeah,
Literally.
and that's something else I wanted to talk about. Chapter 1. I always found like with exposition, it's kind of like a fine line of exposition, and the exposition that it mainly wants to get out here in this first chapter is that magic is everything. It's repeated a lot, especially in the anime, but it's not really shown that much. It's more just like we see Yuno using it to do laundry, and then like
That's
Asta
true.
tries to do something, and he's like, "Damn it, I can't do it." And then the kid Nash,
Yeah,
he's just
his-
like, "You're
his brother
stupid.
makes a
Can't you
fucking
tell
rule.
that magic is everything in this world?" It literally says, "In this world, magic is everything."
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, he's
caught
the
me off
narrator.
guard
I-
because it's like what other world are you, the character, comparing it to?
So I originally had like a comment, a note for this, but I just deleted it because I kind of resolved it myself by just thinking about it. So my original complaint was kind of like how this kid would just like go out of his way just to say in this world magic is everything, like that really like cool. It's a cool line, but like I don't know, like I just kind of lost my train of thought, but.
It seems more like something that the Revchi later should say, like to like kind of like put Asta down, like that's
Yeah.
a very stern reminder. Nash is
So-
also kind of doing that, but more in like a would you shut up already?
So
kinda way.
more of like what I was thinking is like in this world, because like literally everybody has magic except for Asta. He's like this extreme case like that is like basically never happened before.
Complete fucking anomaly.
Yeah.
That's something I think the anime shows better, because when we see that little scene of those guys farming, they're using magic to farm, and
Yeah.
that
It's
gives you
so
a much better
natural.
sense of like magic.
Like,
Magic is just natural to this world.
it's
But
like
it really does
they
show
can't-
magic is everything.
it's surprising to them that Asta can't do magic. Like magic is just a part of the world. It's just natural, completely natural. So my original criticism was like, why would this kid like even like think of like it as like magic as like being something that is like important, because everybody already has magic. But
Yeah,
what I came to
it's
realize
like
is
if
that like because they are at the bottom like caste of the system, they're the peasants. They have like barely any magic.
Yeah.
So
It's like if I came up to you and I said, "Don't you get it? In this world, oxygen is everything."
yeah, it would be a different story if you know, your group of people was able to use less oxygen for some reason, or like
Dude,
you just had
dude,
there was like oxygen like shortages. Like,
dude,
yeah,
let's
of
go.
course the rich people would have more oxygen.
We're getting a
Yeah.
little topical.
Yeah,
Pretty
of
sure
course.
Like, I'm pretty sure there's some dystopian novel from like 20 years ago about that.
I
Dude,
honestly,
Spaceballs.
yes, most likely.
But yeah, you're saying magic is everything. What are you saying?
Well, that was basically it. I was my original criticism was that it didn't really make sense for anybody to like say the words "magic is everything" in a world where everybody has magic, but everybody has magic, but to varying degrees. Like
Right. When
nobles
he's
have more
saying
magic.
magic
Yeah,
is a, when he's saying magic is
the
everything, he's saying the amount of magic
uh,
you have is everything, not whether or
Yes.
not you have it,
Yeah.
because Asta is an
Basically.
anomaly. I was focusing more in on the in this world magic in this world because like what world are you comparing it to aside from our world, but you wouldn't know about our world because it's a character. I had the same thought once upon a time when I was watching My Hero Academia. It was the hero license getting arc with the wind guy, and like they're introducing the like company of people who were acting as like fake disaster victims, and like the
Oh yeah.
characters were watching them, and they comment, and the Ojiro, the tail guy,
Yeah.
commented like, "Well, in our world, of course, something like this would exist." Which I guess you can take as like in our world, as in like in our world of like
like their
in
line of
this,
work.
yeah, in our line of work, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
That like it just made me think of that.
Well,
I'm I'm coming for you one of these days, My Hero Academia fans.
the
One of these
thing
days.
the thing about that is like you can't like what else are they gonna do? Like the
I
only other
guess
way to like kind of like get that across is to actually just have like an omniscient narrator.
they kind of do,
But
but like
yeah, but they don't use it for this one instance where it'd be really super useful.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
but like
totally get what you're
I'm
saying.
just saying like the anime. I think overall the anime does a better job of actually showing it, like with like the guys in the
Yes.
fields using magic to move their hose, and Nash like
Did
does
they?
a little flip with his fire to like start an oven. You know, they were
Yeah.
doing the
Wait.
laundry like
Yeah,
it does
in
in the
the manga
manga.
they don't even show any of that. Damn.
Yeah. All the only magic we see before they say in this world magic is everything is, you know, drying the laundry and Sister Lily doing that super big
Yeah.
water punch to Asta when he's getting a little too annoying.
Yeah. I mean, it's still like basically more of the same thing that it was shown in the anime, but like I don't know. I feel like it's just something that with repetition is just much more like it sells it a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on. I wanted to talk about the like be the thing plot lines in Shonen, but I guess maybe we should move along a little
I
before
don't
we
think
get
we
to that.
have we even gotten to like the Wizard King stuff yet.
I don't think so actually.
Nope.
But
Yeah, then let's wait on that.
yeah. So moving along, let's. What do we want to talk about next?
Um, hold on. Oh yeah. So in the early parts of like this first chapter, it's like it's really apparent like how hard Black Clover like drives its themes home.
Oh,
Like
definitely.
it
Mm.
it just keeps repeating to you that, you know, like we said, magic is everything. It keeps repeating that Asta never gives up. You know, like just stuff like that. It never stops talking about it. Like Asta is just like the ultimate like underdog protagonist. Like he's like the culmination of like every shonen protagonist like put together.
Yeah,
It really makes you feel like the author, like he's been
he's
a
an
manga
efficient.
fan for, you know,
He's a
forever.
shonen aficionado.
Yeah, so he's kind of taken like everything that's been done up to this point, Dragon Ball, the big three, uh Fairy Tale, and just kind of like put it all together and like kind of made like the ultimate like shonen basically. I don't know.
Yeah,
What do you guys think
I,
about
I
that?
Yeah.
I think so.
That's a
Yeah,
fair assessment. We were pointing out a bunch of like bleach allusions earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Bleach.
where we started.
There's definitely some Naruto and some One Piece
There's a
mixed
lot of
into there.
Naruto.
Oh, definitely. There's some.
Oh yeah, didn't people have like a weird nickname for Black Clover when it was new because they thought it was a Naruto clone or some shit?
I think so. I don't remember what it was though. But I know there was a lot of parallels to Naruto at first because like he has the goal of becoming the Wizard King, which is like kind of like the ninja president.
Be the thing. That's
Be the
that's the
thing.
shonen
Yes,
formula. Be the
exactly.
thing.
There we go.
Be the thing.
Be
You
the
want to be the
thing.
Wizard King, the Pirate King, the
Yeah.
Hokage, the world's greatest hero.
And he's like a failure to everyone else, like a failure compared to everyone else. Like he's an
Asuka's got
underdog.
He
nothing
has
going
no
for him.
prospects for a job even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Asta's in this world. Asta is the underdog among underdogs. He's got no magic. He's got no social status. He don't even got parents.
He's
What a
an
dork.
orphan in like the peasant realm of the kingdom, and he has no magic. He's like literally like he cannot.
Like dirt.
Actually,
under-
I'm sure he could
worms
go
in the
if he
dirt.
turned into like a lizard or something. He would probably be lower, but like that's about it.
Turned into a lizard. How could you do that with no magic, Dylan?
Well, if someone did it to him,
Dude, did you just come from the alternate reality with Lizard Clover?
yeah, I did.
I'm gonna be the Lizard King.
He's yeah, the Lizard King.
We haven't even gotten to the Grimoire Tower yet.
Oh yeah, Grimoire Tower. We see a guy, a wizard. He looks like an actual wizard.
Oh, I know his name.
What's
Do you?
Oh yeah, he has
You
a
have
name.
Yeah,
He has a
it's
name.
never explained in the manga, but his name is
Yeah, the anime gives him a-
Drout or something like that.
Drought?
No, it's Drout. It's like Drout
Okay.
or something. It's weird.
Let's just call him Gandalf Merlin.
Yeah, Gandalf Merlin. Yes.
This dude gives a bunch of exposition on how grimoires work. They're fucking magic tomes that amplify your magic.
Dude.
And he talks about how he wants someone from his neck of the woods to end up being Wizard King. And he he gets fucking fuming pissed when people think he's like joking or dreaming too big. And I just thought that was hilarious that this like professional like curator that gives you your special fucking magic amplifier would be so easily fucking pissed off. I was
Yeah.
pretty amused by that, but we
love
see
his
this guy
face.
once again at the end of the chapter and then fucking never again.
Yeah.
So
The
go
anime
ahead.
carries over the spastic comedy of the manga very well. I
Well-
just wanted to say that real quick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, it does.
I feel like the stupid screams add a lot to the silly faces that
Yeah,
are everywhere in Black
interesting.
Clover.
I actually have like 2 notes for like this guy.
Oh really?
Yes, I have 2 different notes for this. So one thing he like starts off by like mentioning like how grimoires work and everything, or maybe it's like the narrator or something. I don't know. It's grimoires come
I
up.
interpreted it as the wizard guy.
So it mentions that the grimoires like they increase magical powers. I don't know if that's accurate.
Yeah.
My understanding was like that they allow people to store spells like that are too complex to memorize, and it like increases like the speed of like the activation of the spells and stuff, and that's like how it makes them stronger. But I don't think like it just like gives like a boost to their magical powers like in base. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's so much as like boosts their like raw power, but
Yeah.
like it allows them to do more complex stuff.
That's
Yeah.
my understanding. Yeah.
That's a good assessment.
I just felt like the wording there was a little weird.
Maybe it was a translation thing.
That's possible. And then also with this guy Drought or whatever,
Organic.
this dude is like just a throwaway character. Like, like the little like spastic comedy stuff at first is like pretty cool. I like it. It's cool, but like his character is kind of like a throwaway character, and there was so much potential here. Like for
Oh,
like
yeah,
this
definitely.
kind of person, they could have done something a lot cooler They could have had
Like-
it be a magic knight, or
Yeah,
a rival, or some sort of antagonist who
Maybe a captain?
antagonizes Asta. Well, it doesn't have to be a captain, but just somebody that antagonizes
saying-
Asta and kind of keeps him out of the Magic Knights somehow. He does his best to do that. He tries to fuck with Asta.
oh yeah, the Grimoire Keeper would have absolutely been very cool if he were expanded on.
Yeah.
Like-
I see what you're saying. It could be
like-
somebody who can drive in the point better that Asta's an underdog.
Yeah, it could be
Like
some
the-
like a noble or a Magic Knight or something.
Right.
I wasn't even thinking like that. I was just thinking this dude clearly has status if he's in charge of keeping the grimoires while they're not in use. And
The grimoires
lit-
in Haj Village in the Forsaken Realm, which is the lowest place.
I guess
So-
so, but he does have the 5-leaf grimoire, which is fucking
He
crazy
didn't even
rare.
know. Yeah, well, he also had a 4-leaf grimoire, but he probably didn't even know about that.
I guess
because
so. Makes sense.
there's fucking millions of them, and also I think I just realized this on this reread, but I think the 5-leaf grimoire was actually hidden away in a secret room or something, kind of like how the demon dweller sword
yeah,
is
the
hidden
second
in the
sword.
dungeon,
Yeah.
behind a wall. I feel
Makes
like
sense.
it was hidden because if you actually look at the panel, let me find it somewhere. Fuck, it's super late into the chapter, but it's actually it's in shadow and darkness, the place that it comes from. It's it comes from a hole in the wall, and it's all dark behind it.
Mhm.
So I don't know, I feel like it's coming. It's from a dark
yeah,
room
it's
that, you know what I mean?
It's it comes out of a hole in the wall of the tower,
Yeah,
like an empty.
I never
missing
noticed that.
brick. I never noticed that too. That's
I just
interesting.
kind of thought it just magically appeared in front of him.
I thought so too. But
Yeah.
I guess not.
I think that might have been how it was portrayed in the anime.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though. That's all I have on that dude.
I wanted to say something about the Grimoire Tower scene. It seems like there was grimoires of different sizes early on,
yeah.
because we get a panel of a guy going mine's bigger. Oh well, mine's thicker. And somebody the anime did a couple more. I remember one guy
Yeah.
had a little pocket notebook size one. It's why is mine so small?
Um,
But
that-
grimoires seem to be all the same size in the future.
So it's a weird thing because fucking when they get to the capital invasion arc, Rades' grimoire is only 1 page, but it's
oh yeah,
still fucking big like everyone else's.
that's
I don't
true.
know what
It's
to
not
deal
even.
with
I
that
guess
is.
that is a little weird, but I have, well, my explanation basically is that that in order to get into the Magic Knights, you have to have a certain, well, you don't have to have a certain amount of magic, but there's clearly some sort of selection there. Most of the people in
Yeah.
the Magic Knights tend to have more magic, thus bigger grimoires and similarly sized grimoires, and
Yeah,
they
that
can
makes
only get
sense.
so big. So
That's true.
and also, I would also kind of compare it to how in how it works in Bleach with the Zanpakutos, where where the size of your Zanpakuto is dependent on how much spiritual energy you have. However, once they get to a certain level, they just they just force their Zanpakuto to be a manageable size. So they don't
Oh,
get
yeah.
too big.
That's true.
They purposely lower the size of their Zanpakuto. So I feel that could be the case in Black Clover as well with the grimoires.
Good.
Cuz
Makes
imagine
sense.
carrying around a fucking a
They're
textbook.
just carrying it like a backpack.
Yeah. I'm sure the captains have enough fucking spells and magic
That'd be
power to
aw-
have massive grimoires, but they don't.
That'd be hilarious to see somebody just carrying a gigantic book strapped to their back. I'd
Yeah.
love to see that. That'd be hilarious.
Guys, go to fucking general number 1. You're making me think of this meme, the my knowledge of subject versus subject meme. No, imagine
Yeah.
being the fucking dude on the left.
Yeah.
Unstoppable.
That's
Ah.
Yuno right there on the left.
Pretty much.
That's Rades on the right.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Dude, I actually hate him.
I love him. I love his design. I love his
Radis? He's
powers.
cool.
Rades, yeah.
I call him
He's fun, but
Radis
he's annoying.
Say Rades in the
in the dub, probably.
yeah.
I think in
I'm
the sub they say
Rades.
Radis.
That's his catchphrase.
I'm Rades.
No, his catchphrase is I'm Rades. Ah.
Wonderful.
I'm Rades and I've got rabies.
I'm going to fuck your asshole.
Terrible. Oh, your corner.
Man, we haven't even
Okay.
talked about Revchi.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
Revchi. Why is he
Fucking
popular?
Revchi.
Why is he even there? He's like
Yeah, how
Like,
did he?
a
Why is
magic
he?
knight who quit to like do crime shit, and he's just hanging out at the fucking wizard bar mitzvah house.
uh, oh yeah, he's there for the fucking like Hajj Village group quinceanera, and he just happens to see like get the four-leaf clover, something
And
that
it's like, yeah,
literally nobody saw coming. So like, what was his plan there? Was he just gonna like
he
grab a
like,
random one?
so
Was
like
he just hanging out? Was he visiting his cousin? Why is he
I
there?
mean, yeah, he was visiting his fucking
Well-
nephew Revchi Jr. and fucking he was like he saw the fucking four-leaf grimoire and he was like, holy shit, that goes so good on the black market, even though no one can fucking use it except the person it chooses.
Well,
Oh,
Very well.
I better try and steal it from this guy who's got strong magic because he's got the special grimoire.
I'll
Well-
steal it right out of the magic tower, where literally anybody can walk up and see, or walk outside and see. Because I'm smart like that. I'm Revchi. Ah.
Yeah,
He also shares that
it is
catchphrase.
weird that no one other than
Yo.
Asta like showed up to stop.
where the hell
fucking
are they?
attack.
There was like two other guys in the anime that were trying to heckle Yuno beforehand, and Revchi
Yeah.
just kind of like beats the shit out of him real quick.
Nice.
Well, the
Um,
thing is, they're in like some weird fucking alleyway that doesn't make any sense why it
I thought
exists.
they were like in like the courtyard of the Grimoire
It's-
Tower like building.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
courtyard, but it doesn't go anywhere. There's no doors. It's literally like
yeah.
How'd they
it's-
get
I
there?
guess
don't
that is weird.
understand what this place is.
It's like some side alley entrance. I
Don't
know.
worry about it too much.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah. But-
but
So the
Sorry,
thing
go
about
ahead.
Revchi is like, well, in terms of like him selling the grimoire, it kind of makes sense that there would be like a black market for this, because like nobles have like once you gain like so much like wealth and power, like there are only so many things you could do like for joy. So like I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
like
guess so.
and they like they tend to like exotic things, and like even if they can't use the grimoire, it would still be cool like for them to
have.
say that they have it, like for like
that's true.
like cool.
I
cool
mean, it makes
points.
sense. I guess I'm just ragging on scummy rich people
Yeah.
IRL.
Well,
and
Black
then, like-
Clover does that too.
With him like him being in Hajj kind of makes sense, because he's like a thief. Like he ran away from the magic
he
knights.
ran
and, like,
away, so he would
he's
be
on the
in, like,
run.
the peasant territory, because
Yeah.
that's not where all the big strong guards are and where the big strong knights are all the
Yeah.
time and shit.
I guess that's true. He was probably just planning to like grab like one or two of the big ones to sell on the black market. And
Maybe.
it just kind of happened on the four-leaf one. And he's like, oh dang, big payday. Fuck it, I'm Revchi.
I don't know if he could really make any money off of like a large like 3-leaf grimoire.
Dude, he'd steal one that was like Rades' grimoire, and he'd when
Well,
he'd go
yeah.
to market it on the black market, he'd point at it and be like, "Ha ha ha! How are you so small?"
Lol.
He'd be like, "Look how pathetic."
I'm literally Rafflemowing. Look at how small.
Rough
Dude, my grimoire is a sticky note.
But yeah, Revchi comes. He tries to steal it. Asta shows up, and he gets the piss beat out of him.
Revchi's only able to beat him because he has a magic canceling ability, and it doesn't work on Asta, but it
Because
still
he
hurts
just has
Asta.
nothing.
Yeah, because Asta can't magic at
Yeah,
all.
they're still chains. He still
So
bashes him in the head.
Yeah, he keeps fucking bashing Asta with the chains, and Asta's like, "Holy shit, maybe I'm fucking stupid. Should I really fucking give up?"
Yeah, and then
Revchi's like
finally Yuno
rubbing
does
it
something.
in.
He's like,
Yeah,
no, don't.
you're my
Dude,
rival.
It's actually pretty cool.
Nakama.
Like because
Yeah,
Asta
no, I
believes in believes in like this whole like thing about being the Wizard King like so strongly, and like he has such these strong emotions that like even though he's like been solidly like squarely defeated by Revchi, like he has no
oh yeah,
chance right now.
absolutely.
But just like reminding him about it is enough for him to like come
Yeah.
back up
Yeah,
and like
for him
It's
to like
it's a
gain
real
his motivation.
get back into serious mode.
it's a real shot in the arm to the whole friendship thing that Shonen always does. Because like here, Asta is at his lowest. Like his stubbornness, literally, even though it seems limitless, it does have its limits. And
Yeah.
here he is, like at the lowest point of his life. But like hearing the one person who's like his opinion matters so much to him say, no, you fuck what
You
everybody
still
else says. Fuck the fact that you don't have a
Yes.
grimoire. Apparently, you're still my rival. So get the fuck up. Asta, like that really is the shot in
Yeah.
the arm that Asta needs, and it really goes like the show after like how
Yeah.
kind of quiet and cold seeming Yuno's been seeing. He really does think of Asta the same way as Asta thinks of him.
Yeah. One
really-
thing that's like kind of builds this up a little bit, that I actually forgot to mention earlier is like early on, like at the start of the chapter when Asta first like he tries to use magic and like it just doesn't work. Like you
He
could
runs
tell.
off to that big skull.
Yeah. Well, right in that moment when he tries to use magic, you can see on his face that he is legitimately surprised every single time that he can't do magic. Like every time he tries to do it, he expects fully that this time is going to be the one
Finally
time
gonna work
that
out.
he uses magic.
Right.
And then he's just legitimately surprised when he just can't. Because he's convinced himself so far, like to the point. Like
Yeah.
he's convinced himself so far that he will one day gain magic and he'll be like strong and like be able to become the Wizard King. That like when it just doesn't happen, he is surprised every single time. I think because it kind of builds up like this character of how Asta he's still, it's another way of saying that he just doesn't give up. He has these strong opinions and emotions about who he's gonna be, and he's just so motivated that he'll never give up, and like that's kind of like paid off here as well because like
This is the big this is the big like comeback to like, yeah, he actually is
yes,
he does got something.
this is the moment.
And
All
in the
this-
moment when Asta goes to fucking beat the fucking shit out of terrible ass Revchi, the chain mage,
Yo,
fucking
Revchi,
writer
the
Ex
chain
Machina
magic.
gifts him with like the rarest fucking kind of grimoire and gives him a fucking anti-magic sword that makes him go from fucking horrible underdog bottom of the barrel hard counter to fucking anything.
Well, that's something
almost
like
anything.
compare Asta here and his powers to something like Doria from My Hero Academia with his One for All. With One for All, he suddenly gets the power, and once he like has a handle on the power, he's just kind of like he's suddenly on everybody's level, and then he's surpassing everybody's level. With
Okay.
Asta, it's different because his power is anti-magic. He's not like putting himself on people's level. He's taking them down to his level, which in a series about fucking over rich asshole nobles is such a like an important thematically
Holy
resonant
shit.
power.
I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
even think
really
about that.
cool.
His
Dude,
power isn't like becoming the best. His power is no, we do this straight
We're the
up.
same, you and I.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Just two dudes about to fucking throw down.
Except I've got a giant fucking cleaver. Fuck you.
Oh yeah, by the way,
And he can only use it because he's just like a huge buff dude
Yeah,
in a world
dude.
where nobody really does much buffness training.
Yeah.
yeah,
He can only use this power because like A, he's got no magic, and B, he never gave up and just kept like physically training because he could at least do that. It's
Dude,
it's the fruit of
canonically,
his never giving up that lets him actually use this power.
canonically that sword weighs 1,000 kilograms.
Wait, seriously? That's
No.
like oh.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's like 4,500 pounds or some shit.
I believe it.
Wow.
Asta could lift that.
Yeah,
He's a tough boy.
probably.
So he gets that anti-magic stork. He
Yeah,
gets that anti-magic sword. Fucks Revchi over.
Fuck Revchi.
Exactly. I'm Revchi, and you're fucking me.
Yeah, why doesn't Revchi have a fucking Brooklyn accent like that?
Why doesn't everybody have a Brooklyn accent? It's Brooklyn Clover.
We all need a Brooklyn accent.
It's Brooklyn Clover. He's gonna be the Lizard King. Hey,
Lizard King.
Saves you know. And they end the chapter with a fist bump, and they're gonna like, one of us is gonna be the Wizard King. Yeah. But before we move on to chapter 2, we also read chapter 0.
I'm not done.
Oh, we're not done?
I'm not done.
This is
How
gonna be
dare
a
you?
6-hour thing.
All right, continue. What do you want? What do you want from me?
Well, so you know how like Asta and Yuno are like they're like
Right.
kind of brothers but not really.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever read Blue Exorcist?
I have
Yeah.
not.
Oh, well,
Tell us.
it's kind of similar because like in like Blue Exorcist, like the two like main characters, they're brothers, they're like twin brothers, and they're like the son of Satan. So like they're one of them like actually like inherited like the powers of Satan and the other one didn't. But it's kind of cool because the one that didn't, he like worked to become strong, and like he at the start of the series he's stronger than his brother, who is like the main character, who actually like has like the natural talent that he had fucking what's it called, he got
That
from
sounds
Satan.
pretty cool.
Yeah. So like I don't know, it's kind of cool. Like it's another. I feel like this is another example of like it being similar to another shonen. Like it was probably inspired by it, I'd
I
say.
can see that.
I don't know. That would be another thing to look into later on. Like once you guys like have more experience with that series, if we do that series.
I can see it.
Oh yeah, so I'm like really I want to talk about how like why do you guys think the grimoire appeared when it did?
Oh, I think it was just responding to like Asta's sudden redetermination, because it happened right after Yuno said like, "Don't give up, you're my rival," and Asta's like, "Oh yeah, you're my rival. I gotta do this," and like that's when it happened. It's like when he was about to get his when he was about to get his grimoire, he was just kind of normal, and then between then and there, he was just kind of like having that sort of like despair weigh him down, even when he
Yeah.
was trying to fight Revchi the first time.
Well, it is like established that the grimoires actively respond to strong emotions, so that could actually just
Oh, that is
literally
true.
be it.
It's a good point, yeah.
I was also like I have like two possibilities right here that I was thinking of. One is that like it could be like the devil that's inside of his grimoire itself like was actually responding to the like Asta's determination. Like he sensed it, and he felt that Asta would be like a good host or whatever, and so he chose him. Another
Cool.
thing is that what if there was like a residual like of like Lick's consciousness within the grimoire, and like he sensed like Asta's like determination, and like he sensed like that Asta was similar to him, and he wanted to help him.
I could see that as being like the reason why it got assigned to Asta. Well, assigned, like
Yeah.
it chose him, but I think it showed up when he did because of his like determination.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's
Chapter 1, 36 to go.
Now the number that comes after 1
Is
is
zero. Yeah.
So chapter 0, it's not that all that different from chapter 1 in like events, but there's a different setting. What's the setting
Well,
called?
it's not like
Clover
chapter
Island?
0. It's just a one shot. Like it was like
It's the prototype.
yeah, it was like the
Yeah.
prototype of the series. Like
Clover
the
Island, that
author
was it.
like wrote it like before he started the series, like as like a pilot chapter basically. That's what
Yeah,
it's-
this was the beta chapter kind of.
Yeah. So it's like basically the same exact chapter as chapter 1. Like all the story, all like the points are the same. Like a lot of the
Asta,
panels are like basically copied over.
yeah, it's all the same beats. Asta tries to ask
Yeah.
a girl to marry him, and she says no. Yuno arrives and establishes himself. Grimoires. Yuno gets attacked. Asta gets
Yeah.
beat the hell up, and he gets his sword. And then the end chapter is saying, "One of us is gonna be the Wizard King." Yay!
Yeah, so
Yeah, but
in
they went to magic school in the prototype, and
I
it's like,
Oh
thought that
yeah,
was
it's
how
cool.
did Asta get into magic school?
That's true. How does he not like
Yeah, wait, what?
flunked out?
Yeah, that is a little
Yeah.
weird.
He has also
That
got a
that
different
reminds
design on his
me
headband.
that reminds me of how fucking how the fuck did Naruto get through the Ninja Academy?
He didn't. Didn't he get held back like 8 times?
I don't it's super
Yeah, that's why
unclear,
he's
dude.
18 and everyone else is 11.
He's the same age as everyone, but it's so
Um,
unclear like how it
yeah,
works
Weird.
at that
But
point
yeah,
in the
they're in
story.
magic school. They're on Clover Island, which is weird. Asta's got a different design on his headband.
Yeah.
I think I'd say the biggest. They also have last names, Asta and Yuno.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking
they're not orphaned
Yuno,
brothers. They
Crossley,
just
and
have
Asta
last names.
Staria. I
Yeah.
was shook reading last names on those characters.
Yeah, it was a little
Last
weird.
names again.
Yuno, Crossley, and Asta Staria.
That was it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
In
The biggest difference
yeah.
was definitely the person who attacked them.
Yes.
Instead of just like
it
this
was Revchi originally, but well, in the one shot, it's Salem, who is Salim or whatever. He actually
guy
comes back
who-
later.
Yeah, he gets revamped and comes
Yeah.
back in chapter 2 to get one-shotted by Yuno. The
Yeah.
anime kind of expands that fight and also brings him back for a
For
filler
filler,
arc.
yeah.
Yeah, which we'll talk about later.
I
But
felt like fucking the dude in the one shot made for like a more interesting first
Yes.
antag because
I
he like
completely agree.
demonstrated the classism in the world.
absolutely, I 100%
Yes.
agree with that.
Like Revchi is just nothing.
Yeah,
Revchi is
I
just like a
super
random
like.
criminal.
Well, not even just that. It's more so like that he is actually like,
He's
he
representative
represents
of the problems.
Yeah, he represents the problems of the world. He represents the nobility and like
Yeah. The nobility and their like their need to like be above everything. To like you don't deserve this. I deserve this. They're just like immature that kind of bratty behavior. He really represents like
it's
what kind of problems the world at large has, instead of just like being a random ass criminal.
it's
Maybe if they made
really
Reggie like a
bullshit.
disgraced former noble and have kind of like that same kind of like, you're a peasant, you don't deserve this. Maybe Revchi could have still worked, but I think this was.
I think it's just
that was
better.
like. I think it was definitely a downgrade of that
Yeah.
kind from 0 to 1.
Yeah, that's the one thing that they definitely should have kept.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how cute that girl was at the start of the chapter?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
she was adorable.
Very.
She's literally cuter than every single character in this series.
What? I thought you
Yes.
were like IRL in love with Mimosa.
Yeah, but dude, I just fucking saw this character like a week ago.
I guess so.
It's so awesome. Anyways, I mean that's all I have to say on this one shot. Do you guys have anything
Me
else?
too.
Nah,
Nah.
nothing else.
Like it was just basically chapter 1, but a little bit different. So,
Yeah.
in the anime, they actually add a filler like in right after this part, like after chapter 1. Because chapter 1 is split into 2 episodes in the anime because it's like super long.
Mhm.
And in the anime, episode 3 is like a filler basically. It like so in the manga, it just like kind of jumps right into like Asta and Yuno like taking the Magic Knights exam. I feel like the way they do it in the anime, where they like add this little bit of filler, is like pretty good because it just like it adds a little bit more of like time in Hajj Village for us to get to know the characters and to learn more about like Asta's determination, like before we actually get him like meeting new people.
Mm-hmm.
like we hold on. It gives more like development on like Asta's like relationship with Nash. Like it talks about like because they have more interactions like where uh
They give him a name. They
yeah,
give Nash a name.
no, didn't I'm pretty sure he had a name in chapter 1, didn't he?
Didn't
No,
he?
Did he not?
he definitely didn't.
Sister Lily didn't have a name. She was just a sister. The priest didn't have a
Wait,
name.
really?
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they still never said the priest's name in canon.
Yeah, I don't think they did. His name is like Orphe Osfi or something.
Orifice,
Orpheus Phi.
orifice.
Yeah. Um,
Ophis, orifice.
Father Orsi. Orsi Orphi is his name. Yeah.
Orifice, orifice.
Anyway, but yeah, they like actually expand on like his relationship with Nash and like more about like getting Nash to like agree with him on like being a Wizard King. Like he wants like Nash to be like the next generation basically behind him. He wants Nash to be his rival also.
Hmm.
I think that's pretty cool.
Asta's a rival slut. Just getting all these
He is, yeah.
rivals.
Yeah, dude, he's got Yuno, he's got Nash, he's got
Leopold.
Fuegoleon and Leo.
Also at the
Um,
start of the episode, of like this filler episode is actually the first time like they have like the extended like introduction of like you know the Wizard King fighting the demon.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
actually like that's like the extended version, like the first time they show it.
I
And,
love
like-
how they gave the giant demon, even like in the first chapter
Yeah.
when we have the first panel close up of its eyes, it's got tear streaks. A little bit of foreshadowing there for
Yeah.
what's to come later.
It's
I
pretty
like
cool.
that.
Dude, I was so fucking shook when they finally got to that stuff.
Yeah.
But every episode beyond this has the that introduction part like every single time.
Mhm.
What other shows do that? I don't. There's
Hunter
a lot
x
of them,
Hunter
right?
had one very early on, but they dropped it like
Yeah.
after like a handful of episodes.
Doesn't One Piece have one?
One Piece did early on with the
It-
spiel
it's a-
about
I thought it
Gold
was like the whole
Roger
show.
and
No, it's like One Piece is odd because since the intro keeps changing,
Oh.
the first intro has like as the drums kind of go and the song starts up, it has a little spiel about Gold Roger, and like
And then,
later when the anime is really like busting its butt to slow down these episodes, it also has like a quick 30-minute like
30 minute.
in this world 30-second in this world there's a One Piece and nobody's found it. Oh, look, it's Luffy episode.
Yeah, and then cue the opening, and then cue the recap, and then cue the like 10 minutes of
Dude.
filler.
2 minute and 30-second opening, a 30-second little 30-second
Yeah.
little like this world blah blah blah, and then like 3 minutes of recap.
3 minutes
And
of
even
recap,
then,
10 minutes
then
of
even-
actual content, and then you get the ending, and then you get like the little like mini
Teaser.
animation at the end.
yeah, it's dumb. But
I don't
Yeah,
think they have that in
I-
One Piece, but it's still funny. They like pad it out so much.
yeah, and Black Clover is pretty padded out early on. The anime really just kind of
It just goes right into it.
spins at wheels.
Yes. Well, because originally it was only supposed to be like a 1 or 2 season thing,
Mhm.
and like, but then they just kept going.
Yeah, there's nix that idea.
Yeah,
But
they
the
just
anime,
made it
in some
recurring.
spots, the anime is like spacing things out and giving us some more stuff. This could be good. It could be good. Like
It's
just a little bit with
almost
Nash.
all of it is good. Almost all of the
Yeah.
filler is really good.
oh yeah,
But
definitely.
like it slows the pace down a lot. That's still even if it's good filler, I feel like the fact
don't
that
know.
it's so slow.
Maybe
for-
like the
I-
filler like later on in this section, like like right before the dungeon arc, might slow it down a little bit.
don't
But I
know.
think this
don't really
this
remember
one
this
episode
being
of
much of a
filler is good.
problem.
I think the content is good, but I feel like they should have sped up that content some.
Okay.
But
Anyways,
yeah, they got that little thing with Nash, and they also have a little bit of Asta and actually traveling to the Magic Knights exam instead of just chapter 2 cutting. Oh, we're there.
yeah.
And I think that's good for like helping to better show their dynamic, kind of.
Yeah.
Asta keeps getting fucked over, and Yuno's just kind of like quietly being good at stuff.
Hey, speaking of chapter 2 and cutting to it, we probably should. We
Yes,
we have to get to D&D in 75 minutes, and we've been on chapter
We-
0 and 1 for like an hour.
Yeah,
we may have to like
split it up possibly. We'll see.
yeah, come back to this episode at a different night.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, chapter 2.
Yeah, chapter
Magic
2.
Knight's exam. We
Dude.
get our first real good look at the Magic Knight captains, at least in the manga.
Yeah. Also, we
We
get
get-
our first explanation of what Magic Knights actually are really
yeah.
early on, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We see almost all the Magic Knight captains except the Purple Orcas guy, which makes sense.
No,
'cause he's
you
not
actually. I'm
important.
pretty sure you do
No,
see him like
he's
all the way
there.
on the
You
right
see it-
though.
Yeah,
There's
you
9
see a little
Magic Knights.
sliver
Yeah,
of
very
him.
small
you don't
amount.
see his face.
I guess so. Well, you see him like very shortly later when they're in
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's not
the
important.
and raise your hands scene.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, he sucks. He's like literally my least favorite character.
I like his design. I like his weird face.
You like
He
how,
looks unique.
you like how he's ugly?
I do. He looks like a One Piece character.
That's
Um,
actually a really good assessment
Yes, he does actually.
of why he's ugly and I don't like him.
Gu Eldre.
How do you guys feel about the concept of the anti-birds?
I thought
It's
it
kind
was
of neat.
Yeah, like
um
it's cool. Like it makes sense like that the Magic Knights would be using them like for the test because it like
yeah.
it like explains like how well it gives them a little bit of insight into how much magic each of the participants has.
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
kind of like in the Yu Yu Hakusho, the Genkai tournament. That she had like that little arcade, like or even before the arcade, she had that little like draw a slip of paper, and then like she's like, if your paper is this color, get out of here. And then like we get the narration inside our head, like if it's this color, they have no spiritual prowess. If it's this color, they do. This will weed out like who
Oh, yeah.
actually can take my train.
That's like the water thing in Hunter x Hunter too, right? Where they like test what kind of Nen abilities they have. via
Kinda.
the
That's
water or
more like
whatever,
after
or-
you actually start having Nen.
And in
Yeah.
Naruto, they also have the chakra paper where like it tells you what nature they are.
That's but that's like a later
Yeah.
thing. This is more
Yeah.
like a very like if you got enough magic, you'll probably have a bet. Like
Yeah.
we know who to look for now that we got the anti-birds out there. And while we're on the anti-birds, let me just say
Yeah.
there's an for a fantasy series, there's an oddly lax amount of like fantasy creatures, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's
definitely.
true.
We got
I
the
mean-
anti-birds. In the Saussy Village arc, the anime actually shows the boars they were trying to kill, and they were like kind of fantasy-ish.
Maybe the author just doesn't know how to draw fantasy creatures.
I
Yeah.
don't think it matters that much.
yeah.
It doesn't matter
it
that
doesn't,
much, but
but
like
it's
I feel
interesting.
like
It
it's
would be a neat aspect if it was there, but I don't think we're
Yeah.
losing anything by it not being there.
that's true, and it's not really like much of like made much of like so like it's not like a huge like I don't need it, but I felt like it was enough of like a
Yeah.
something to point out.
We get some of those in the Atlantis arc.
Did
Yeah.
we? It's been a while.
Did you guys notice the first appearance of Nero? On page
Yeah,
4?
that's actually one of my notes.
Yeah, same.
I didn't actually.
Yeah, she's
what
just
is
sitting
my
on his
notes?
head.
My first note for chapter 2 is Nero sneakily making her first appearance
Yeah.
in chapter 2 with all these other fucking birds.
I didn't notice actually.
Yeah, it's pretty
She got
cool.
lost in the shuffle, I guess, for me.
Also,
So yeah, my two
I-
favorite characters, Nero and Yami, both show up for the first
Yeah.
time all the way back in chapter 2.
I did notice that we also saw in chapter 2 when they after the captains show up, we see the captain of the best squad, William Vengeance, and he makes this big tree to make a bunch of broomsticks so they could do the broomstick test.
yeah.
And the
that's cool.
guy who's like showing everybody this is how you do broomstick. That's
Yeah.
Alec Dora
Yeah, it
Sandler.
is. I also
Oh,
noticed
with
that
his
during
sand
this.
mage buddy.
Sandy pants.
Sand
Sandy
boy.
butt.
Yes.
With his oh my god, he uses sand magic and his name is Sandler.
Yeah. Didn't you know
Yeah.
that?
Didn't you don't you agree that that's the best name outside of Heath Grice,
Outside of
uses
Magnus
ice?
Swing, who uses
Magnus
baseball
Swing,
themed fire magic.
Luck Vulture?
Yeah, that one was pretty obvious. But yeah, I love how Yami's first interaction with Asta is Asta being like, "Man, you look pretty old for a kid," and
Must have had a
Yami's
rough
immediately like,
childhood.
"I'm going to murder you."
I'm going to murder this child. I
Oh.
did have a rough child.
Oh, one thing that we
Fuck you.
skipped over. For a second, it kind of like skipped back to Hajj Village, where like it showed
Oh, yeah.
like the father and the nun talking to the wizard dude.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Grimoire guy.
he
Merlin
had like
Dumbledore.
he had a suspicion about like Asta's grimoire. Like
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like,
He didn't
that
really know what
grimoire,
the
could
deal
it be like, what the fuck
Yeah,
does that
B
mean?
dot dot dot.
I didn't remember that being a thing. I don't
Yeah.
know if they like skipped it in the anime or whatever, but
I don't know.
that really frustrates me because I feel like we never get back to that fucking guy.
Yeah,
No.
like, is it common knowledge, like the whole like thing about the fifth leaf on the clover? Is that common knowledge, or is this guy like somehow connected to the
Maybe
devils?
it's not common knowledge to
or-
normal people, but since he's like
Maybe
the
Educator
he's like a
keeper of the
historian.
Grimoire Tower, he's got like
Yeah.
some sort of like. Could
Possibly.
it be the legend?
It's still
The
kind of
legend?
interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like we're never gonna get back to it.
Yeah.
Like we've only seen fucking five leaves, and damn,
Dude, don't you know about the 6-leaf clover? It's
What?
got
Five
in that
leaves. What?
one?
We haven't
No,
seen
this-
five leaves.
Yeah, we
That's
have.
Oh, we
We've
have.
seen
You're
literally
right.
Asta's.
We've seen Asta's.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
literally
let's not go
Asta's
into
whole
that.
thing.
Let's not go into
5
that.
leaves. Yeah.
Mike,
Let's
shut
not-
up. I'll DM you. Let's not dwell too much on shit 200 chapters out right now.
Anyways, so
What
like
were we
it kind
saying?
of they go to like a part where like it kind of introduces, Yami and like Finral and Gordon. It for some reason they describe Gordon as like an incantation mage, like he's an incantation mage specialist.
Yeah,
Did they?
but he doesn't
Yeah.
talk.
He's like a
It's so
specialist in
weird.
incantation magic, and I'm like, what? That like he doesn't. I don't know what the fuck incantation magic is, and
Yeah,
he's
we
certainly
don't
not
really
a specialist
see
at it.
Yeah. It's a weird early thing, I guess.
Yeah.
It could be a mistranslation, or it could just be like a weird
They
early
did
thing.
shit.
Yeah, we go so long without really seeing Gordon do anything. or
Yeah.
He's just
especially
kinda
use any
in the
magic, so I guess
background.
it's like
Cool
I
down
guess they
part.
just kind of changed it. We also see Finral.
The horny character.
Yeah, Hornyman.
Well, I guess technically Noelle is also the horny character.
She's not
Not
horny.
really.
She's innocent horny.
She just really likes Nero.
Horny for birds.
Horny for birds.
Oh my god. Well, we'll get into that later. With
Oh, yeah. So,
yeah, so like they just kind of like go right into the exam right after this. Like,
yeah.
You like how they spend a little more time in Hajj and like going there and stuff.
yeah.
I actually have a comment on how I like the anime's interpretation of chapter 2 better, because they don't acknowledge Noelle in the manga chapter 2,
Yeah.
but in the anime they cut over to her.
Give her a little
and
cameo.
This is also happening.
Cameos are always cool.
Mm.
Very nice.
I also like how they gave her like an early appearance.
Hmm.
You know who also makes his appearance in this chapter? Seke Bronzaza.
You mean hoo-ha?
Another
Yeah.
yes, hoo-ha. Or in the manga, it's horror.
Yeah, it's hard.
I think another way that it's spelled somewhere else is like funha or something like that, or something. I don't know.
What the fuck?
Dumb.
Yeah, funha. That's how it's spelled on the wiki. I don't know where that comes from.
Okay.
Dumb.
Oh wait, no, it's not. That's on an N. It's 2 H's. It's fuha. That makes sense.
It's still dumb. I don't like
It is dumb, yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I was saying, like they literally just go right into the exam. I think it's pretty cool, like that they by like go right into the exam, I mean like from this point, like they go right, like they show like the thing where they're flying on the broomsticks, and then they just kind of like time skip not time skip. What am I trying to say? Time lapse.
Skip
That's
ahead.
it. They time lapse
Ahead.
over everything else just to get
It's
to
like
the
a
fighting.
montage, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's kind of a montage.
It's cool. Like they show like they kind of show what they're doing like in these interim like stages of the test. So like we kind of get a cool idea, but it skips right to the fighting, so we could actually get to what we're interested in, which is the fighting, because it's a shonen manga.
Yeah.
It's so
A
cool.
battle show.
They actually just just skip over all those stuff no one cares about.
I would have liked to see the other
it's
parts.
In the
it's
in the
cool
anime
for
they showed a little
flavor,
bit more.
but I
Yeah.
don't know if like I think that might negatively impact the pacing to not montage over it.
I mean, like still montage, but I would have liked like maybe an extra page of the montage so we could
Yeah.
see a
And
little
like
bit
I said, in
more
the anime, they
in-depth.
expand a little bit on it. Like it's still
Yeah.
kind of a montage, but like
Yeah.
a couple lines per like scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would have liked that to like explain exactly like what we're doing.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
It's interesting.
Yeah, we cut to fighting. Seke is like, or do we see Yuno versus Celine before Seke?
No, that's the last fight that we see.
Oh, okay. So yes,
The
Seke
last
is our first
two.
real like look at like nobles are shits. You know?
Yeah. Well, it's actually cool. Asta and Seke, they literally get the first fight. Like they're like,
Yeah.
whoever wants to go first, go ahead. And then Asta just like, I'll do it,
Nah,
because
Seke
he's so eager.
Well, no, Seke approaches him like, "Hey,
Well, yeah.
why don't we do it?" Because he's been like,
Yeah, but
doing,
then
like,
after that, once everyone's teamed up, like William is like,
yeah.
someone go first.
Yeah.
And he's
And
like,
Asta's
okay,
like,
I'll do it.
"I'll do it."
He's just so eager to show off his strength.
And
Strong
fucking
boy.
Seke Bronzaza uses this fucking bronze magic.
Seke Magnum Cannonball. Was that
As
it?
fucking memey as this guy is, his his magic, like the idea of his magic is pretty cool. I like it.
I agree.
Like the
Be
bronze
an
and,
objectively
like,
decent ability, but he's just like
yeah.
at the
Kind of a
bottom of
shit.
the barrel and so
Yeah.
up his own ass and
Yeah.
like
And
Well,
that's
the
a good
thing
like.
about
It's a good tone setter for the rest like of the like nobles who remain shitbags that we see.
yeah, like he
Yeah.
is a shitbag, but like it's interesting because even though he's like played for laughs throughout the entire series, he is actually like kind of strong. Like he
Yeah,
gets
he's competent.
he's competent.
yeah.
He just got unlucky that he fought Asta. Well, not unlucky. That was all him. That was
Yeah.
all on
Yeah.
him. But like, if he had
didn't know what he
had
was
fought
playing
someone else, he probably would have won, and he would have gotten into like a better squad, probably.
Yeah, and we see like later during the Royal Knights arc that he can be competent and like help out.
He can do stuff. He
can be-
wasn't Royal Knights material, not at all.
Yeah, but,
But
like
he's definitely a
he's
little
not
bit higher than a
useless.
junior knight, I'd say.
Mhm.
yeah, he's not a main character. Let's say that.
Yeah.
He shows up
yeah.
a lot for someone who's not a main character.
Not really.
Yeah,
At least in this
Uh,
early part, he does show up like a decent amount, but he
a
doesn't
few
too much
times.
later.
yeah, he gets a few cameos.
You guys got
Yes,
anything else
Seke,
for this
the
chapter?
best
Because I
character.
have no more notes
Nah.
for this chapter.
Nah.
Do I have any more notes for this chapter? Nah.
I don't even remember what happens.
Is this a good time for me to talk about like discrimination stuff
Yes.
in Black Clover?
Oh, because we get
Nobles
into
and stuff?
Yuno and Celine.
Celine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get into that after. So like Black Clover, it's all about like classism and stuff. Nobles are kind of shitty, but like there's still some like good ones, like Noel and the Vermilions, a couple of others. But like even with the good ones, they always tend to go against the grain in some way. Noelle is basically an outcast in her family. The Vermilions are like notably weird in that they're okay with commoners, and like the ones that are like they're ones and even like the Black Bulls has a few like Gauche and Finral and Henry, but like all of them are kind of like outcasted in some way, like disowned or
Yeah.
fucked over out of the noble life.
Like
Nobles
how-
in this Black Clover, like real legit 100% nobles that don't go against the grain in any way. They suck. That's people like Salim and Seke and the king, not the Wizard King, the King.
Yeah,
The-
fucking King
The
August.
king
hate
of
that
people
guy.
who happen to also be wizards. Yes.
Yeah, nobles in Black Clover, if they're good, then it's like a weird thing in this world. If they're bad, they're regular ass nobles.
Yeah, like how
And
Henry was debilitatingly sick, or
he's
fucking
disabled.
Ghosh was a criminal, or fucking
Ghosh got like screwed
Well-
over by nobles and was kicked out of being a noble.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's how you do it. That's
Yeah.
that's how you be a good character. No, I'm just,
It's like
I'm just
in One Piece. The Marines are like totally like
corrupt.
an arm of like a corrupt system,
They're like
but there's still
fascists,
some
right?
there's still some good ones like Kobe
Like
and Smoker and
and-
stuff, but it's like those kinds of Marines are like going against the grain.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, they're the weird ones.
Yeah. And that's kind of like how nobles work in Black Clover.
Hmm.
And it really sets
Mhm.
and it's a good setup for like the themes we're going with. Asta's the underdog. He's like with his magic sword, he brings people down to his level, that kind of stuff. So yeah, Asta and Yuno both pass. Asta, like Yuno gets all the captains to like want him. They want his D. They want his babe pig in the city. And
Even
he
the
goes
one
with
that was sleeping.
Yeah, even the one that was sleeping, and even the one that don't like boys.
So,
But he
one
goes with
interesting
the-
thing is like,
Yeah.
so all the captains raise their hand for Yuno. Like
Mhm.
even Yami does.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like it seems kind of out of character for Yami to raise his hand for Yuno, because like he tends to only accept like people who are like fuck ups, and like because that's just like
Yeah.
weird.
Yami likes
individual.
underdogs, but he also like
Not just underdogs, but
knows
just
that he-
people that are weird and unusual, like
yeah.
outcasts.
Well,
Yuno
I
doesn't seem
mean,
like
But
that.
like,
you know,
like
it's
he's
like,
also like kind of he can also be pragmatic. He knows like a meal ticket when he sees it. Like, oh, this
Yeah.
kid's good.
honestly.
Oh,
that-
actually, yeah.
that
He's
makes
because
sense.
Finroll is his ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind
And all
then.
you on my ride, be
Oh,
competent.
dude, that
I'm
that
out of
makes
beer.
dude, that makes so much sense. Like when Finral took the entrance exam, like he couldn't fight, but Yami just saw his ability and was like, "Holy shit, I need that in my life."
Well, I don't think he took the entrance exam because he's like a super noble.
I
yeah.
guess so.
Because like
Like
royals
a
and nobles
Noelle
don't.
situation.
Like they just get in.
Yeah,
That's true.
still an amusing thought.
Well, no, because like the Salim and Seke, they take.
Yeah, but they're like lower no. They're well, Seke isn't a noble. He's a commoner.
Is he
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, he's
I thought
from the
he was a
commoner
noble.
realm. Yeah.
Oh, I did not. I thought he
well,
was a noble.
Salim is a noble though, but he's like a lower
Commoners
noble.
still hate peasants.
What?
Commoners would still hate peasants.
Yeah, because there's
Oh,
like
yeah.
3 classes. Well, I guess
He's a-
4
I
kind
guess.
of. There's there's
Seke's-
peasants, commoners, nobles, and royals.
So Seke is like middle class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like an
Okay.
average.
Asta's like a
dude.
crackhead homeless guy to Seke.
That makes sense.
It's just because like comparing anybody to Asta is like a noble, basically.
That's true. Asta's bottom of the bottom of the bottom of the barrel
Yeah,
in this world.
Asta's
And
a
yeah.
bottom.
he is a bottom. Well,
Ugh.
he
Dude,
doesn't
have
act
you
like it
seen
though.
Noelle?
Around Sister Lily.
Have you seen, dude? Have you seen Noelle? He's definitely gonna be a bottom in that relationship. Can
Yeah,
you believe it?
totally.
But yeah, gets into all the Magic Knights, and he picks the best one, the Golden Dawn by William Vengeance, and Asta gets up there, and literally no one picks him, and his confidence is like a little bit rattled again. But like after what happened in Chapter 1 and what told him, he's like in a little bit better place to handle it. So when Yami gets in his face, like "fuck off, nobody chose you. Are you really gonna?" Like, are you ever even gonna come back and try again? Asta's like, yeah, why not? I'll try again as many times as I want. I'm gonna get in. Fuck you.
Yeah, like
And Yami's
he's
like,
actually got
okay.
development.
I'll take. Oh yeah, I'll take you. You're in, kid. So Asta gets into the Black Bulls. Yay!
Love that. The worst of the worst.
Yay! Yeah. Asta gets into the worst group,
Guys,
and
we're
we got a
completely-
little.
We're completely skipping over the scene where Asta almost shits his pants and Seke tries to poison him.
Oh yeah. Seke has like a spell that apparently can debilitate somebody for life. Apparently,
Wait, did they explain that in there?
they
Yeah,
didn't explain it, but he's
I guess I
like,
ran over
has
it.
like a poison spell or some shit.
Well,
It's a
I knew it
poison
was a
spell,
poison
and
spell,
he's
but I guess I
like,
didn't read the part where it explained that. What the fuck?
it's like, hold on, let me find it. It's at the end of chapter 3.
Yeah, it's at the end of chapter
Seke's
3.
like, fucking.
Well, you don't have to explain. I get it.
If it's bad, you'll be I'll test
Oh,
your
you'll
luck.
be
And if it's
bedridden for
bad,
life? Oh,
yeah.
wow.
How does he have something like that when he's got the fucking Magnum cannonball?
Yeah, well, it's in because at this point he already has at least 2 spells, which is like pretty good considering they've only had their grimoires for like what was it, like 6 months?
That's true.
That's that's what I was like that plays into what I was saying about him like being like actually pretty like strong.
Yeah, he's competent. He's just up his own ass too much.
Yuno also has at least 2 at this point because right now we see him use his second one, his second spell.
Yeah. So let's
White Hawk.
So one more thing about chapter 3 before we can move on.
Yes.
Dude, Yuki Tabata is a fucking modern Shakespeare. The line, fucking, I have no regrets or poop left inside of me. Modern Shakespeare.
I love it.
Wait, where does he say the poop? What?
End of chapter 3 when he's about to leave with Yami. Yeah, near the end of chapter 3. And he's about to leave with
Oh my
Yami.
god. That's amazing.
I knew you'd like that if you didn't remember it.
Yeah. So he leaves and he gets to meet the Black Bulls at the end of chapter 3. But earlier in chapter 3, we get a little after we meet Yami and Finral and Gordon, we get a little small silhouetted shot of
that
the
was
Black Bulls. And it's we see a few people that we know that we see
don't
in
see
chapter
for like
3 and 4.
200 chapters.
Yeah, we see silhouettes of Yami and of people we meet at the end of 3. We see like Faye and Vanessa, Magna, Gordon's there. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Luck, or maybe it's Finral. They have the same hair by now.
It's Luck.
But we also see Luck. But we also see Henry between Yami and Magna, and somebody else who we've only been introduced to very recently. So this is a very like it's a panel that like goes by quickly, especially like doesn't seem that big, but like looking at it in like hindsight, it's a very it goes to show just how far this has all been planned, how much
it's cool.
This guy's got planned out. It's cool.
Because like I said earlier when we were at chapter 1, like it well, not chapter 1, chapter 2 actually. Chapter 1. Fuck. When it like shows off all the Magic Knight captains, or what I thought was, and like it shows like the designs, how the designs weren't finalized. But it seems like by the time they got to chapter 2, most of this stuff was already finalized. So like, how much fucking work did this guy do in that 1 week?
Well,
first chapters usually like take a while.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Especially because like they're like 6 times the length, 3 or 4 times the length of normal chapters.
6 times.
I got my numbers mixed up. It's like 60 pages.
Yeah.
Especially like with Naruto, you know, like how much different stuff there is in
so
chapter
much
1
fucking changes.
Yeah. So like chapter 1. But yeah, he gets from the Black Bulls. We go to the Black Bulls' house. It's all fucking. The house itself is all fucking weird and segmented.
It's cool.
And like
it's like the Black Bulls.
Later, yeah,
doesn't fit in.
Weird. Exactly. And we get like a explanation of why that is later with the introduction, the real introduction of Henry.
Yeah. So like at the beginning of chapter 4, Yami explains like why explain that not everybody is there. Like there are some Black Bulls that are like off doing their own thing. And like he gives this description, like he says, the rest are on missions, on breaks, or slacking off. And like I was wondering if like these actually like are like direct correspondence to like Black Bulls that we have yet to see.
Yeah, because it really does match up to all the ones who we
Yeah.
know now that aren't there.
So like the one on missions, that's the one that was introduced in the manga recently. That
Yeah,
whatever.
and
But
like
then
slacking off. That's Henry
that's clearly Henry.
doing their
I,
own thing. That's
I would
Zora.
have thought. Actually, yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say slacking off would have been Zora, but
No,
nah, it's
Zora's
totally
yeah,
doing your
it's
own thing.
definitely Henry because he's always like laying in bed. And then
Zora's
Zora would
doing
be
his
on
own
break
thing.
because like he's
Zora's doing his
on a
own
break
thing.
from being in the Black Bulls or whatever. He's just off doing his own thing.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Of the ones we do meet, we meet Magna, we meet Luck, Vanessa, Gordon and Finral. We already know. We meet Gauche, Charmy, and Gray.
Yeah.
Is that all of them?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought it was neat that Gray's labeled as real name unknown because I forgot that was a thing.
Oh yeah.
It is
This introduction. I don't know if you like if you've ever tried to watch and got to the second episode. Ash, I
Oh,
know
yeah.
you know this too,
Fairy
but
Tale,
like
right?
yeah,
I've seen
this
that.
is very similar to the second episode of Fairy Tale
Yeah.
when
Oh
we meet
yeah,
the Fairy
it's
Tale
kind
Guild.
of like that actually.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like the
where
same
we
thing.
get to see a lot of characters dropped in on us all at once, and we kind of see like their personality trait kind of laid bare.
Yeah,
And, like,
they're all
it's all
doing
this,
their own
it's all
weird thing.
yeah, it's all chaos while the main character is like arriving for the first time, and we like tries to get some attention, tries to say, "Hey, I'm blank," but like it's too chaotic, and we get to see like just how it's zany and wacky, and it even kind of ends the same way with like the leader having shown up, and like everybody calms down when the leader's there, and we see like for all how weird and chaotic and crazy they seem, they're still like a legit like group.
Yeah, they have their
Follows the
like
leader.
they're united by like Yami. Yami is what
Yeah.
unites them.
Exactly, just like how in Fairy Tale they're all chaotic and doing their own thing, but like they're united by Makarov.
Yep. Pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
The thing is though that fucking Fairy Tale does the fucking Fantasy Guild Adventurers thing. Black Clover does that way better than Fairy Tale.
Oh yeah.
It also does like the team of military soldiers in cool fantasy world thing better than Naruto.
Mm.
So it's just like
Well, that's like what I was saying earlier. It's like the culmination of like all
Culmination.
shonen up to this point.
Exactly.
Like it takes everything from before it and just like combines it all together and usually makes it better. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
pretty good.
Like an amalgamation across the nation.
that is the ideal
Yeah.
fiction.
You get all these cool characters, and then at the end of the chapter, and more in the next, we meet Noelle, who's the main female of the show.
The best girl.
Best girl. I
So
like her.
with like Magna's introduction where he's like a lot of the times it's like in the manga at least it'll kind of like kind of throw us through a loop where it'll be like it'll look like Magna is like gonna like bully Asta or something, or like just like hate him or something for like being a peasant, and then it'll turn out that like Magna actually really likes Asta and he himself is also a peasant, and like it really shows that like the Black Bulls are like the sole like haven of like just being weird in this society.
They don't care what like class you are.
Yeah.
All they care about is like, can you do your
They're
job?
different.
Okay, then be as fucking weird as you want.
Yeah, dude,
Like-
they're just a bunch of bunny ears.
Like there's a lot of people out there that like don't really care about class, like even some of the captains, like a lot of them just don't even care, but like it's like kind of rare, but like in the Black Bulls it's like where this just group of people gets together and they all feel the same way about this, and like they're like this one place in the world where
And that's
it just doesn't
that's-
matter.
yeah. And Noelle was shoved. We learn later that Noelle was shoved there because the rest of her family kind of see her as a fuck up because she's bad at
That's
magic.
where the fuck ups go. The
Yeah,
Black Bulls.
And and they're like, you go to the Black Bulls with all the fuck ups. But like it turns out to be good for her because they're like, oh, you're a fuck up? Cool, we're fuck ups too.
We're all
Let's be
fuck ups.
together. Yeah, this is welcome to Team Fuck Up. It's nice here. We're nice. And she's like, yeah, it's nice here. I'm gonna cry with it. It's nice here. I like it.
Yeah.
You guys are much better than my shitty abusive family. Yeah, Noelle's cute. I like her.
In the little like character description thing at the end of chapter 5 where it describes where it like has Noelle and like the things she likes and stuff.
A little character
It
page,
says
yeah.
she likes things that are a little irritating but cute. And that is
Fits her.
definitely why she likes Nero. It's
And
great.
Asta, too.
And Asta.
And
Yeah.
well, yeah, but Asta's more than a little irritating. Come on.
Yeah.
That I thought of that and I was like, that does not apply at all.
Oh, hanging fruit there.
Asta's more than a little irritating.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Noelle's chapters is nice because like it's a very like she starts out as very haughty and like fuck you guys.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
better
she was
than you
fucking
because I'm
bitch at
royal.
first, but
Well, because that's how it's actually cool because like
yeah,
that's kind of how she's like grown. That's how she's
Yeah.
grown up and like learned to live in the world and like make
No,
Yeah.
make
absolutely,
do
I
with
get
what
that.
she has is by just being
Yeah.
a bitch. But like when she
Yeah.
finally realizes that these people will actually accept her, she could finally like open up to them.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is like
really cool.
it's like it's a defense mechanism being a bitch for her.
She's
Um,
she's like Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. She's cool
Yeah.
but rude.
Yeah, that's why she can't be the lizard thing. She's a turtle. Okay, turtles are lizards. Fuck.
Are turtles lizards?
Yeah,
What?
They're
No,
they're reptiles, but are they lizards?
They're not lizards.
reptiles are lizards.
No,
Lizards
no,
are a
no, no,
certain
no.
type of
Lizards
reptile,
are reptiles.
dude.
Like
What?
snakes aren't lizards.
Yeah,
Snakes are reptiles.
Well,
snakes aren't lizards.
snakes are
There's a
kind. I think
turtle-
snakes are actually lizards. Yeah, but I don't think
Okay, then-
turtles are.
That's new information for me, but my point still stands. She can't be the lizard king. She's a turtle. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Noelle. She's a bitch because it's a defense mechanism, and she can drop it once she sees like these people aren't like her family. She can like be upfront about her weaknesses, and they'll help her out. She can come clean about herself being a turtle.
That's true. She is a turtle. Anyways, so we finally get we actually like after all of this stuff with Noelle is when we actually like finally get like our introduction to everybody from the Black Bulls, and I think it's kind of cool that like he waited a little while before like actually like introducing them. Because
we see them and we see their
Yeah.
personalities, but we don't really get much. Like we don't get the names.
If we got it
yet.
all at once, I feel like that would just be
Oh, yeah,
way too
definitely.
much stuff to keep track of.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
So like I think it's good that like it was split up a little bit because like we didn't need to
A
know
little
everything
bit of
about
we'll
them
get
at
back
first.
to it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also, a note
I like
about
Charmy the best.
Charmy.
He's good.
Her
I love
surname, Charmy's surname is Papitson, which like is kind of like a Germanic kind of naming thing, which is like similar to dwarves and like the reference to dwarves
Yeah.
because
Oh,
like
that's cool.
so like
'Cause-
like
yeah, 'cause
a
she's
Germanic naming
a
thing is
dwarf.
like it's usually like your last name would be like your father's name followed by son. So like Johnson would be like John's son. That's like a Germanic thing.
Yeah.
And like that's kind
Yeah.
of related to like how like dwarves were in like fiction. Like it's kind of like based on Germanic kind of things.
That's
So
true.
it's kind of cool.
Little plan ahead. Same with like, Enoteca. That's Italian for I think wine, or it's some
So-
related to wine.
Oh, Tekka? Yeah,
'cause-
maybe it is.
yeah,
I don't.
Enoteca. That's Vanessa's
I thought
last name.
I thought Tekka is like, well, in Italian, biblioteca is library. So like,
I just read online that her last name has something to do with wine, and
Does it?
like, and another is gauche is a French word for like rough or uncouth, which fits in.
Hmm.
So these names aren't just random names. They're fairly thought out for what he's got planned.
yeah.
Anyway, Saussy Village. We're gonna get saucy.
Yeah, dude. Fucking first mission as a Black Bull is go fucking
Kill some boars.
go own up to the fucking captain's gambling debts in
Oh,
this
yeah.
remote part of the country.
I love that. I actually see the gambling in the anime, which is
Oh,
Yeah.
Enoteca means wine
lost their
bar in
clothes.
Italian.
that was it. Yes.
I looked it up.
Biblioteca is Spanish. Although I
It's
guess
also in
Spanish.
Italian.
Yes, those are like
It's
crossover
like a Latin
words.
thing.
Yeah. Saussy Village. They go to kill some boar. We see Magna's got like a tricked out broomstick. And I
That
like it.
fucking
He
broomstick,
treats
bro.
it like a hot rod motorcycle or some shit.
It's
Yeah, I love
so
that.
fucking stupid. I love it.
Oh, absolutely. It's
It's
stupid
awesome.
and I love it, and it's
Yeah.
awesome.
I love
Yeah.
how they gotta like. I love how they gotta pile onto it because Noelle and Asta, for different reasons, can't use broomsticks, and Asta
Yeah.
like falls off at one point.
It's cool.
Yeah,
Um,
and then
It's actually kind of it's expanded on a little bit in the anime. Like this whole like little like mini arc of like this first mission is like
Yeah, Saussy
super
Village is-
short in the manga, but in the anime
yeah, it's only like a
it's-
handful of chapters.
yeah, it's only like I think it's like 2.5 chapters in the manga. In the anime,
Nah, it's more
it's
than
2
that.
full episodes.
Oh, you mean the setup? You mean?
Well, I guess the
Like-
setup is included, so it'd be like 3 chapters. But like
It
the
was-
actual
short, but I don't know if it was as short as you're making it out to be.
Yeah.
okay.
The like from the like leaving to go kill the boar to like getting back and like leaving Saucy Village. It's more than that. It's like at least a handful,
9.
like 5.
Oh, it was only 4. I'm looking at my notes.
Uh
But
Chapter
yeah,
5, 6. Oh, I skipped a couple chapters of notes. That's why. Sorry. Never mind.
Stupid.
I had nothing to say about most of it.
Yeah, it's not that like because
yeah.
it's mostly just
What
action.
would we say about Heath? Do you remember
Nothing.
anything about Heath?
Ice.
Yeah, for the
He has
first,
ice powers.
For the first real villain, Heath does not make much of an impression.
Yeah,
I forgot
like,
about
literally
him.
forgot
to be
he
honest.
died, and I was like, "What happened to this guy? He's in the Midnight Sun, right?"
Yeah,
For like
I was
for like the
I
couple
was-
years that I was watching the anime, like as it was like just going, I just forgot about him. And then when he came back up, like I think at some point like Licht mentions him because he was like part of the Midnight Sun,
right.
and I was like, oh, that guy. I always
Yeah.
remembered Revchi though because Revchi is weird.
Revchi was, he was.
He has an interest.
Deranged.
He's kind of interesting.
He's
Yeah.
got some level of personality. Heath is just like stoic, and that's
Yeah. Just like
and
what?
He's
Okay.
he likes
I guess.
time. He likes being on time. He's got that
Yeah.
watch.
That's
Dude,
cool, but for some reason, like I just didn't remember it because it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I was so surprised because I keep dropping this. Can you hear this? I'm dropping
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, what are you dropping?
a
You
bottle.
dropping a rice?
A bottle.
A
I'm dro-
bottle?
So what
And
were
then
we
a bunch
saying?
of dropping sound effects. Oh no, I'm dropping things. Haha, isn't this funny? I was so surprised in my original read through, like that I kind of stopped short because I lost focus because I'm stupid. I was so surprised that they kind of wasted ice magic on this guy. I feel like
Yeah.
that should have been.
I was
saved
just
for
thinking
something
that
more
earlier
important.
when I was
Well,
reading this. I was like,
Like
We,
that can be
what?
that can be kind of like
yeah,
crossover with magic abilities. Like all 3 of the like Crimson Lion Vermilions use fire magic just in different ways. But
Yeah,
like,
well, it seems like
Yeah.
all of these guys in this little group, like they all use like some variation on like ice or mist magic, but like
right.
we never see it again, and like it's just wasted on these guys because ice magic is so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't think anybody else uses ice.
there's
Like
some no-name girl in
Oh, there's the snow girl
tournament
from
arc.
yeah
Oh,
from
yeah,
the
like,
the
she-
Gray Deer.
she was
She's a
so
snowman.
cute.
She's cool,
She was.
She
I like
was
her magic.
adorable.
but like here it's just wasted. It's just
Yeah.
wasted.
Wasted on a boring.
And no one
character
else
that
is ever gonna
killed
use it
himself at the
again.
end. But
Hopefully
we
we
did
get it.
we did get in the Saucy Village arc. For some reason, they like expanded the backstory. Like in the Saucy Village, when they first show up, they clear the mist and they find Heath about to kill a bunch of peasants, and they see that he's killed like an
The-
old guy. They changed it in the anime so that the old guy was like a father figure to Magna. When like the manga, it implied
Yeah.
no sort of connection between them.
And
What did
they
you
didn't
think
even
of this-
explain about him at all until the end. But in the anime,
Yeah.
it's all like explained there.
What did you think about like that change? What do you think about this expanded backstory for Magna? This like connection.
I think it's cool because
My
like he needs a
impression
little bit
was-
more at this point in the story.
My
What are you saying,
impression
Ash?
was the random old guy was fucking like he was the guy that Yami and Magna like
Yes.
lost to in gambling.
Yeah,
But
that was in the
like
manga. Yeah.
I feel like that makes sense that he could have been like a fixture in Magna's life if they
Well,
like had repeatedly came to this neck of the woods for that kind of thing.
yeah, because it's
Well, it was
established that
like even
Magnus
before
from
he gets
from a
into the Magic Knights.
yeah.
Even before he gets into the Magic, like I remember in the anime, there was a scene of like the guy congratulating Magna for getting into the Magic Knights. So he obviously knew him before.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
Maybe
they
that's
even
it.
showed it. Like they
Yeah.
showed that he had gone through this town a lot, like because he's from a nearby village and he's like
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
delinquent kind of guy. So he would like try to go there to like fuck with people,
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
be a delinquent.
Maybe that's how this guy and Yami became like gambling buddies through Magna.
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
like
and
I feel like because every like early like in this like first like part of the story like everything like that we're gonna be reading for the series like every character kind of every member of the Black Bulls kind of like gets their arc where they're like introduced and we like get a little bit about their character, and I feel like without that little bit in the anime there's just not enough for Magna here
yeah, that's true.
because
He
this is
doesn't-
a
this
short
is
arc.
supposed to be this is a short ass arc. He's got to share the limelight with Asta and Noel, like kind of like how Luck shares it
Yeah.
with them. But with Luck, we get a lot more.
We
in
do
the
get more
manga.
with Luck because it's a longer arc.
Right.
I feel like
yeah,
I personally feel like Magna doesn't need all that much to him.
that's true.
It just seems like the kind of character he's made to be.
Yeah, we don't get we
Yeah.
don't need much for him like in terms of backstory, but like
That's true,
we
but
needed a little.
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel
like
the
he
animation
is
was
a
good
member
amount.
of the main squad, and he's like the first one that we're actually getting like an in-depth look on. Like this
Yeah,
is his
it
like
does.
arc that he's introduced in.
It does fucking come out weird that he doesn't have all that much around him compared to the ones that
Like
come
he has
after.
this relationship with Luck that gets like expanded on more later, but other than that, we get like basically nothing for him for the entire series.
Yeah,
I feel like in the manga right now that's gonna change, but for
Yeah.
now, he's not
Yeah.
really
Mm.
much. I like how the anime expanded on, and like Saucy Village doesn't have much to talk about, but this is when we get the like talk about the magic power system and how like through intense training you get better at magic, you get more spells, but getting more spells and like getting better at magic can happen through like extreme emotion. Like in this, after Noelle's big like meltdown in the previous chapter, we're still under the idea that she's bad at magic, but with this she's able to like after like a little like she's considering running, like I'm a noble, why am I doing something for these people that I could get killed for, I should just leave. And like a little girl like reaches up and pulls on her ass cape. It's not really a skirt, it's more like an ass cape.
It's like
And it's like,
skirt,
help us. And Noelle's like, oh fuck, stop giving me the puppy dog eyes, fuck.
Yeah.
And like she gets her new power, the Sea Dragon's Lair, which is like a defensive water barrier.
This is
But I just wanted to comment on like how the power system, like just how you said, this is a culmination of like a lot of shonen tropes kind of being brought to their fullest.
yeah,
Sudden power ups are a big thing in shonen, but
and it
this,
actually explains it.
yeah.
it actually explains it. It makes it a
Yeah.
part of the power
Yeah.
system. It's
Like
literally
this
a
makes
thing-
sense.
Yeah, it's literally a thing
It's
that's
not a rage
discussed.
boost. It's a mechanic built into the world.
Exactly, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
something that we see a lot. Like we see it again with Gauche. We see it with
Noelle does it multiple times,
Noelle
Yeah,
does
when
it, yeah.
she gets the Sea Dragon's roar.
and
love
the
that
and the
scene.
Valkyrie
That
armor.
moment.
Yeah. But yeah, I love how that's an actual built-in thing, you know?
Mhm. Yeah,
And
definitely.
that's not to say that like they can like just not train, because they still train. It's just this is
Yeah,
another
training
way
is
for them
like-
to get strong.
Yeah, training
Yeah.
is the main thing, but like this is like another way you can like get stronger. It's just in a more
Yeah.
sudden way.
Mhm.
And also, this is like the first moment, like this is the moment where Noelle decides that she also wants like to protect people with her power, like alongside
Yeah.
Asta.
Such a short arc. It's a lot happens in it,
A lot
especially
does.
with Noelle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Do you
We
guys have
we met.
anything else to say? Because there's like one thing I want to say, but like towards the end of this.
We
Just
meet
a little bit.
Nero near the end. We get the
Well,
little
we met,
conversation with Asta and that little boy at the old man's grave.
Yeah, that's what I
And
and
want to talk about.
I was
that
I was shook at the presence of this little boy. Like, where did he come from? Why
What?
is this suddenly the little Japanese boy that every manga needs? He had no
Well,
previous interaction with the characters.
we
He
saw
wasn't
he
him
was
near
there.
the
Yeah,
start.
we saw him.
So, we saw him near the start. He was by the old man's dead body when they first showed up, and he's like, "Grandpa, your prayer was answered.
Yeah.
Magic Knights are here." Ugh.
He did show up in the manga, but also in the anime. Of course, it was like expanded upon upon a lot
Okay.
more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like with this kid, remember how earlier I was talking about like Nash and like how Asta wanted like in the anime, Asta was like, Nash, like you can be the Wizard King too, and like
You can do it too. Yeah.
I feel like this kid is also like kind of like that because, well, it's actually Asta goes into it. He's like, he's explaining like what the Wizard King is or whatever, and like he's like, you should be the Wizard King. And I feel like this kid's gonna show up one day and like
Yep.
be a Magic Knight, and he's like the next generation of like Magic Knights.
It would
Gave
be
him a
cool.
name. I forget what it is, but somebody like I forgot it was like a manga bonus thing or a data book of the anime, but they gave him a name at least.
I'm sure.
Random
Yeah,
bit.
he might be in the. His name might be in the anime too. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on this bit.
Right.
Let's move on ahead then.
I think
We're
we're
good.
only going to be able to do like everything up to the dungeon arc
Yeah.
tonight.
It should yeah, we're running out of time for this night, so let's cover the little between chapter between this
Yeah.
arc and the dungeon
There's
arc.
also a
and
little
then
bit of
we'll,
filler in the anime too that we'll go over.
yeah, we could talk about the quick filler arc,
All right.
and then next time we can record, we'll talk about dungeon arc and the Magic Knight invasion.
Yeah.
But yeah, chapter 10, I think.
Yeah. Chapter 10. It literally
Uh,
starts off by like actually explaining like what stars are and like how the Black Clover, the
Black
Black
Bulls.
Bulls are like so far behind all the other squads.
Oh
And
yeah.
like that Asta is like so far behind Yuno because he like got a head start by joining the
Mhm.
best squad.
Right.
And like it just shows you like that Asta has like he's working against everything to like become the Wizard King. Like he's starting from the lowest point, but he has to work his way up to be the Wizard King.
This for a show that like really does have like its foot pressed down on the gas pedal at all times in terms of pacing. I feel like that having this little chapter of like low stakes, there's a bit of action at the end, but like a lot of it is just like little exposition
Little
about
break.
the world, seeing how the world works. It's a little
Yeah.
break, and like a lot of arcs kind of have that like between the royal capital invasion and the next arc, we have that little like
Yeah.
mixer that sets up the next arc. When they're going to the undersea temple, they spend a little time at the beach, and we meet
Yeah.
girl whose
It's good.
name I can't
Uh,
remember.
Kohana or something like that.
Oh,
Kahono?
Kahono and Kiato. Well,
Kohai.
Kahano is we only see Kahano at the beginning and then we see Kiato later, but that's
Yeah.
way ahead.
But like,
Yeah.
yeah, but like, I'm just trying to say, like, for a show that is so fast paced, and like a lot of people say, like, oh, it's too fast.
It's not.
Yeah, it's not. Like it a lot of the times it'll give us a little like chapter, sometimes two, like just kind of like to rest and catch our breath before major like story arcs pick up again, and I like that.
Yeah, Mike, I totally get what you're saying. I think Black Clover does cool down really well.
Was that supposed to be a joke?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. That just like kind of like sounded like a joke, but it didn't seem very funny.
No,
I'm sorry.
Cool down, the chill hanging out parts between arcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Is there a better word for that?
No.
No.
I don't know.
For-
It just sounded like I don't know.
Dylan's just being dumb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stupid dumb.
Dylan, why are you being so fucking dumb right now?
Can't believe
God.
you.
You guys gotta stop bullying me. I'm gonna leave.
Can't
Dude,
believe
I
you.
would straight up kiss you on your penis if you asked me.
Whoa.
Can't believe this. Can't believe what I'm hearing. My sensitive Christian ears are hearing this.
Uh,
They should have been hurting towards the beginning when I said some other
Oh,
things.
yeah. Yeah.
When you
Some other
said
things.
Mr. Lily
I mean-
was a cum dumpster or some shit.
Cum depository, actually.
It's a big difference.
Yes.
Big difference there.
Come on, dude.
My only note for chapter 10 is I always thought pot potatoes was a weird name for a fake vegetable, but no potatoes might be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember them being called no potatoes. I thought it was like tatoes or something.
It's difference in like
Yeah, like the translation
subtitles.
here is like different from the
I know in the
anime and
dub they're
stuff.
called pot potatoes. They get you
Yeah.
high.
Pot potatoes. But yeah.
Mike, you ghoul, stop laughing like that.
So they decide to
Go
go
shopping.
to the fucking place, to the village.
Vanessa.
Not a village, a town. With
They
Vanessa,
go into
yeah.
like the common realm,
Yeah.
I think, and they're in the
Kika.
they're like a little. They're like a little. They found like a little dark bazaar, or like
Well,
dark
it was the
alley of
black market.
black
They just
mark.
literally went to the black market.
Yeah, because
Yeah, it's like a. It's like a little hole in the wall, literally.
Yeah, it was actually, it was kind of like, have you guys seen Harry
Hidden.
Potter?
No,
no.
Well,
I-
in the first movie
keep
when
that
they
cringe out of my face. My
when they go
sensitive
to like
face.
the secret the it's called Diagon Alley, which it's like the secret like shopping place for wizards in like the world, because the wizards are like hidden from like the regular people. So
Just being the
so what
gift
they
of them,
do,
like, running a shopping cart through a wall.
well that's a different part. But it's kind of similar. They actually like, there's a brick wall, and then like they like say an incantation, and then the brick wall like just like turns into like this big archway where they can go into the fucking the place where the shop. It's kind of
Wizard
kind of
Walmart.
similar. And actually, that reminds me, in the author Yuki Tabata actually says that one of his inspirations was Harry Potter.
Oh yeah. We
Yeah.
read a bunch of interview. I found a bunch of interviews, translated interviews online that gave a lot of cool insight into the show.
Fuck.
That was one of them. Like he said, his inspirations were like, aside from like Shonen, obviously there was like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cool.
That
His
would have
homework.
never crossed my mind as like being. I would have never like connected those fucking synapses in my brain.
I
So,
mean,
yeah,
like,
they're in a
we read stuff from other countries, so it makes sense that other people would read
yeah,
stuff from here.
cultural exchange.
Yeah.
It makes the world go round.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
cool.
Hmm.
I mean, like, if you actually like if you read like a lot of manga and stuff, you'll notice a lot of references to like Western stuff, and like
Oh
it's
yeah,
pretty
like
cool.
how the DBZ Android saga is based on Terminator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, originally, like, the Red Ribbon Army with like Android, like, what was it, Android 11 or something?
Android 8. He was like a Frankenstein.
Yeah, he looked
monster.
like Frankenstein.
And later in the fortune teller Baba section of that, all of her fighters were based on like Western monsters, like a vampire, invisible man, mummy,
Yeah.
like devil, and a ghost.
A lot of cultural
Cross
diffusion.
cultural thing. Yeah, it's
I
cool.
was gonna say cultural appropriation. No,
Nah,
fuck
that's a
that shit.
different
That's
thing.
stupid. Anyways.
But yeah, black to Black Clover.
Black Clover.
Snap back to Black Clover. They're in the dark bazaar, as I called it stupidly.
Well, that's not inaccurate.
I know, but it's a stupid term I
Anyways,
came up with.
yeah, so they're
They're
there.
buying stuff.
The
they-
fucking Magna.
Oh yeah, Magnus there gambling.
He's
And,
just
like,
And he
Asta
loses.
has
he
like a
loses
little
everything.
Asta has like a little comment when we see him, and he's like, "Wait, like I feel
I
like
know
in the
that guy.
anime it was translated as like, wait, isn't that?" But like in the manga, it's like, "Hey, I know that guy."
Yeah, that
And
was.
I
I
love
thought that was
that.
funny.
It's hilarious.
It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's that guy.
Oh yeah, him. We get to Vanessa and Noelle are like shopping for like magic items. I wish we saw more magic items in Black Clover
Yeah.
outside
Yeah,
of
the only
Grimoires.
one I can remember is like the fucking healing pod, and that's not for like hundreds of chapters.
Yeah.
Actually, we see one in this chapter.
Wait,
Like at the end
Yeah.
of the chapter,
Oh, yeah.
the guy uses
We-
like the poison magic item.
Yeah, Yeah, Noelle
Oh,
has like her
okay.
wand, and this
Yeah,
guy's
the
got
wand
like
too.
the poison knife, but we don't really see much, and I wish we kind of did. I feel like that'd
Yeah,
be a cool route to
that's
take.
definitely a missed potential right there.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, maybe in the future, maybe it'll become a big
Yeah,
important thing
possibly.
in the future, perhaps. But yeah,
What if
they're
Asta could
buying
use
stuff.
magic items but not magic?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Uh, you see the return of the true Chad King, Seke Bronzaza. He's
The
trying to,
Alpha Chad King.
yeah,
He dies,
Tr-
and I'm like, yes.
yeah.
He
He,
almost does though.
No, he doesn't
yeah,
almost die. He just thinks
No,
he's
I know.
dying.
He
yeah,
thinks he's
yeah.
going
A
to.
little old lady gets her fucking gambling winnings that she got from Magna stolen by a dude, and Asta and Seke goes after him. Seke, having acquired a third magic spell, the Seke shooting star, a freaking motorcycle.
Motorcycle with seke themes,
Yeah.
of
So
course.
so a great motorcycle, obviously.
A
great
Anything
perfect
powerful
Seke
seke.
motorcycle.
Anything Seke themed is immediately better. Let's just get that out there.
Yeah.
Let's just say what we're all thinking here.
Dude, when I saw that, cocks enlarged.
Dylan.
Yours or
Just in general.
yeah, all across the world, 7 penises increased 2 inches when you saw a Seke shooting star.
Dylan, that's an interesting stand ability you've got there.
That's a stand ability.
When I get a boner, everyone does.
I'd want that ability.
It's like yawning.
Imagine being a gay dude with that ability. That's the best.
It's like yawning.
Wait, what?
I said it's like yawning. I guess you missed it.
What
Mike
the
said it's contagious, and I said like yawning.
That's great.
But yeah, Seke goes after the guy, and he catches him actually, or does he catch him, or does Asta catch him?
They both catch him.
But then he gets stabbed.
Oh yeah, he stabs. The guy stabs Seke in the foot. Asta then rushes in and beats him, and Seke's like, he's dying, and he tries to impart his dream onto Asta, in a it's a hilarious scene,
Dude,
and Asta's like, no, fuck you, live your own dream, asshole, I'm busy.
I feel like there was
Yeah.
supposed to be some sort of like message here, but I was just laughing.
Yeah, that's a good summary. There's probably some message, but I was laughing too hard to
I
get
was
it.
just like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Asta and crew leave the black market with fucking Noelle's magic wand. Turns
yeah.
out the little old lady is the Wizard King.
Oh yeah. Seke doesn't die. He was just being a baby. But yeah, the little old lady turns out to be the Wizard King in disguise. We get our first look at him.
Because
Wizard
he
King
wanders around
Julius
Chrono.
Nova Chrono. 3 guesses to what his magic is.
He
First
controls
guess,
bread.
First guess, sand.
Dylan,
Second guess,
was your first guess
sand.
red?
Bread. He controls
Oh,
bread.
bread. Okay.
First guess, bread. Second guess, sand. Third guess, lizard. He's the Lizard King.
Actually, he controls all 3. That's why he's the Wizard King.
Yeah,
Man,
he
I
controls
can't
sandy
believe-
bread lizards.
I can't believe the Wizard King, the like leader of the military, just like wanders around town pretending to do random odd jobs to run into freaks.
I
and
think it's
weirdos.
really cool because like
It
he's
is-
just like a
It's
nerd.
fun idea. I
It-
love that he's like a nerd.
I
Yeah.
like how he's not made out to be some mysterious fucking
Well,
stoic
he is.
asshole.
Well, he's
like
not
cool-
he's not stoic, but he's definitely mysterious.
Well, yeah, but
He's like
he's
a cool.
not
He's like a cool, mysterious uncle.
Yes.
Like you don't really know what his
That's good.
you don't really know what his job is, but he's got like a cool leather jacket, and he comes by and he's like, "Hey, you grin since I've seen you," and he kind of like leaves you this in the chest, and you're like, "Haha, Uncle Julius, hey, cool to see you. Hey, do you want to play Nintendo?" And he's like, "Yes, let's play Nintendo." And your dad doesn't like playing Nintendo, so you just play with him, and it's cool. He's got like a leather jacket.
Mike, did you like steal that from like old Game Grumps or some shit?
No, I just want to
Okay.
fuck the Wizard King. I mean,
Just like your uncle.
yeah.
So bread. Let's talk
yeah.
about bread. What's your favorite
Julius.
kind?
I like Italian bread.
I don't.
They don't. they don't explain the elemental alignments in Black Clover until the dungeon arc, right?
I don't.
I don't
They
think
don't
so.
really explain them ever.
No,
Well,
they
because
do.
it doesn't matter.
In the dungeon arc, they do. They give like, oh, it's like flame, air, water, earth. Those are the four main
Yeah,
elements.
they
And
say
Oh.
everything is
all the
derived
other,
from
there's
that.
more elements
do.
that derive from it, like
Yeah.
electricity and smoke and mist and ice.
I want to know where
stuff.
I want to know what fucking wraith magic is a subset of.
I think that's like its own
That-
special thing. Like
There
how
might be
in-
like light and dark magic also that are also base
yeah,
elements.
same with like time magic.
Kind of like how in Naruto they just don't
Yeah, I was
explain
about to
yin and
say, the
yang magic
fucking-
until the end.
Yeah, I was about to say like the yin and yang release in Naruto.
Wait, did I say yin and yang magic?
I don't
Fuck.
know.
Look, I have to kill
Doesn't
myself.
matter.
I'm sorry.
Hmm.
You guys have to
You guys
continue the podcast
Dave.
without me.
It's 8:44. We've got little time before we gotta pick this up
Yeah.
another time. But before we go, let's do a quick little summary of what goes down with fucking
Yeah,
in the
so-
filler.
In the filler, so like we actually get like this little bit where like the Wizard King was like testing Asta, like he wanted to learn about his magic or whatever.
And he
and,
gets
like-
a star. Asta gets a star for it, and we find out at the start of the dungeon arc that gets a star, and we don't really know what it is. This anime shows how he got that star.
Yeah, it like he was doing the same thing for Yuno, and like we actually get to see that in the anime. It's pretty cool.
But it seems like
kind
it was
of.
more like an improv thing because
Yeah.
like Salim was doing his own thing and Julius kind of like jumped on board as like disguised as like a mook, which is kind of weird because like in the original, like he was just like look in the manga with Asta, he was just like a helpless old lady, and the robber was just kind of like seemed like happenstance. Like he was trying to like make himself bait. And that was just kind of like a happy accident, but like he was trying to make himself look like bait.
I don't
In
know.
this,
It just
like,
seems
little-
weird to me. Like
In this little bit of filler, he just kind of like fully jumps aboard like this guy's kidnapping plot where he kidnaps a nun, and like the Wizard King is there in disguise, but like he has he doesn't really seem to have like a problem with jumping on board disguised as a minion, like with this woman just like being held against her will.
That-
It
I
doesn't.
mean, he can
you see-
stop.
he-
Like
he-
he's so fucking strong. Like he has time abilities. He could stop
Yeah,
anything that's
He could-
happening if he wants
yeah,
to.
he could. Yeah,
No,
he
no,
could stop
like-
at any time. It's not like she's in actually
Yeah.
real danger with him around, but like it's still kind of funny that like he's going along with this so long as he can see Yuno's cool magic.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I feel like it's
Agree to
pretty
disagree.
acceptable.
Dude,
Yeah, I
that's-
guess it's anime filler. Who cares?
What's up?
I was just gonna say he's just an otaku, and that's what they're like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he's so interested in, like he's such a nerd, like he's so interested in magic that he'll like do a lot of things just to see it.
I like that. It reminds me of
He's
how Deku
not
was
perfect.
early on in My Hero Academia, with like being a superhero nerd, making like
Yeah.
these notebooks about heroes. The Wizard King just kind of like wanders around looking for cool magic
Yeah.
because he like.
And it
like,
kind of
it's
shows
cool.
that like the Wizard King is like he's not a perfect human being. Like he has
Oh,
his
yeah,
own
definitely.
faults.
He's a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not some grand figure who can do no wrong. He's another person.
He's
With his
he
own likes
may
and
be at
dislikes.
like such a higher level than Asta, but he's not unreachable.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And that's an important thing to have in this kind of like setting. Well, not setting, this kind of story where like you're aiming to be the thing, and it's a position that's already taken, like Hokage and number one hero. It's important to make that person seem like
Reachable.
human so that they become reachable.
Yeah.
You can say, oh, it's okay. Our main character doesn't have to lose his quirkiness because these guys are quirky too.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, we're gonna take a pause from this episode and come back when we have some time to do the last two arcs. All right, we're back from our little intermission for you guys. It was
Oh.
like 5 seconds, maybe. Grasso was
I don't
like,
know.
It's been 15 years.
"That's true. We're all aged now.
I'm decrepit. My bones hurt more now.
I'm turning to ash as we speak."
I was already ashes.
I have
no.
remained the same.
Oh yeah, you're immortal. I forgot.
am
That's
immortal.
what watching anime does to you.
That's true.
Yes.
No fap anime fans are immortal.
I watch more
That's
anime
true.
than both of you combined, so therefore I am immortal.
You participate in No Fap Friday, therefore you are immortal.
Yes.
No fap Friday.
I participate in no fap forever.
know- you know who-
That's the ultimate version of that. That's how you gain your godlike abilities.
Yes, it's very true.
Anyway, Black Clover. It's a
Black
thing.
Black
Clover.
market.
We
What?
Finished up.
We finished the black market. The fuck?
I know.
We finished the Black
I'll
Market.
kill you.
Saucepan Village. Sounds like a Dragon Ball place.
Saucepan.
We live in a giant saucepan. An Iceman is coming to put out the fire on the stove beneath us.
And next we go to a fucking abandoned basement with
We
no
go to-
building on top.
We go to Indiana Jonestown.
There's
We do. We indeed do that, definitely.
oh
We start a new arc where they're exploring a dungeon. And in Black Clover, a dungeon is like ancient ruins that you just kind of like can find in places of apparently like long past civilizations. And that's really all they really say on where the dungeons come from. And like with this one in particular, I'm just like the inner history nerd in me and archaeology nerd in me is being like, who built this? Who were they? Who was the past people of this country? And we really get no answers for that.
It
And-
definitely would be cool to have had that elaborated on.
Especially since because of like what they find in this dungeon,
Hmm
you know?
I suppose that's true. But at the same time, there's also like so much like there's so much time for them to explain this. Like
Yeah.
what if
That's true.
like what if another dungeon houses like something really important like in a later arc? Like I feel like they could do some crazy shit.
Like bounce back to this and explain a little bit more when it like connects to a future thing.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah, dude, they're gonna
Uh,
fucking find an angel in the next dungeon. And, that,
Yeah.
and that's what it's gonna go into after the devil arc.
They're gonna find an angel in the dark.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that was fucking Rainbow in the Dark. I'm stupid. I'm dumb. Anyway,
I have
go to-
a quiz for you. Well, not a quiz. I have a poll for you guys.
Uh-huh.
give it to
Yeah.
me. Your
What's
poll.
your favorite alternate Nero name?
Alternate what?
Fuck, I
Alternate
didn't write
Nero
them
name.
down.
Oh.
Sylvantus Schnauzer or Tori Taro? What do you think?
It's
Tori
Tori Taro.
Taro.
Tori Taro is weird because this is a very European setting. Only Yami and his awesome
Yami
sick
is explicitly like
katana.
a foreigner from like a whole different fucking continent or some shit.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how Asta's like pulling out this very Japanese pet name for the bird, while Noelle is giving like the more fitting like European style name in
I-
this European style setting.
I was not expecting an analytical
An analysis of
response.
Tori Taro.
yeah.
I just
I
I
just
have
wanted to know
no-
what you liked.
Tori
I like
Taro is way
nothing.
funnier. It's funny without being annoying sounding.
Yeah.
It's absolutely Sylvantus Schnauzer.
I'll kill you, you fucking freak.
You
Listen,
freak.
it's funny.
This dude's a freak.
Oh no.
we yeah, they named the bird, and then we flash back to like the Yami given the mission to go search the dungeon. We get a little backstory about dungeons, and it says that they're ancient like ruins, and like so they can house a lot of dangerous stuff. They house
As
like
dungeons do.
yeah, they have this like aside from regular like treasure stuff, gold, they have apparently found in other dungeons like powerful magical items and like ancient spells, stuff like that that can like seriously boost someone's power. And
Oh,
this,
you know,
like
hold on. I just realized something.
What?
Just in the last chapter or the chapter before or whatever, they actually like mentioned magic items for the first time.
and here they're actually like explaining it. The very next chapter, they're explaining that magic items are a thing, and like
Yeah, that's true.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And something that I was telling you guys about just a little bit ago that if we had continued on, if we hadn't been interrupted last recording session, I would have
Yes.
totally missed out on. Yami, while he's talking about this stuff, telling him about dungeons, he drops the term ultimate magic, which like in when it's put alongside phrases like powerful magical items and ancient spells just sounds like another broad term to mean like, oh, something to boost your power. Ultimate magic is like a broad enough term that you don't think, oh, that's a thing in this world. But like
Especially in like a manga series where like in Shonen Jump, there's so much inconsistency with all the translations. Like you never know if like that's actually the name of something or if it's just like some weird way they decided to translate it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, that's true. But and like I won't get into specifics because the anime hasn't reached that point yet. But the term ultimate magic has been brought back in a very important way very recently, and that just kind of goes to show that like this story really has a lot of stuff planned out to
Yeah,
the point
manga
where
are
they
insane
can
like that.
dribble in details in the very start,
Yeah,
like those
I was
seeds.
thinking earlier like about how like with a lot of these shonen like it just feels like they have like their shit worked out pretty early on. Like
Yeah, that's true.
the-
Like even something like Naruto, where we've talked about on our own, like all the inconsistencies between stuff said in chapter one and like later stuff, like how in chapter one of Naruto they
Well-
say like you are the Fox Spirit incarnate, and like
Yeah.
that's not true. But like there's stuff like aside from all the world building and stuff, the lineage of the Hokages, especially Naruto's connection to the fourth one, that's pretty clearly like
set up very early.
in place from the start because they have the ninja Mount Rushmore right there.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'd hesitate to say like from chapter one they have their shit worked out because like it seems like at least with
Broad
Naruto,
strokes,
which
at
I have a lot of
least.
experience with, at least with Naruto, fucking the difference between chapter one and like just chapter two, honestly, is fucking astronomical. But like I mean like within like the first couple volumes, like they seem to have already worked out most of that stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot like I don't think they have every detail. They obviously don't have like every detail
Yeah.
worked out, but like there's a lot of story beats. They know what they're doing far into the future. But yeah, back to Black Clover. We get uh, we're getting last arc. We had Asta and Noel, the two newcomers, and they were with Magna. Now this arc, they're it's Asta and Noel again, but this time they're going with Luck, another member of the Black Bulls who we met way back in chapter 3 or something.
Luck
So
Volpe,
long
you'll
ago.
never guess what his magic does.
Makes him lucky.
Yeah, kind of. If being
No.
able to murder people really easy with bolts of lightning is lucky.
That's
That
true. Yeah.
is- I mean, it's lucky considering that's his goal.
Yeah.
So he's pretty good at it. So clearly
Yeah.
he's lucky.
And I also, before we jump into the dungeon itself, I wanted to bring up something else. After they leave, we get a little snippet of Yami and Vanessa talking, and like this is after we learned that the Wizard King specifically asked for Asta to go on this mission because saw Asta in the one-off chapter at the Black Market, was impressed by him and stuff.
Mhm.
And Yami says like the boss can see things that we can't, and obviously I like that's meant to make you think of like how he was in disguise as the old woman in that one-off chapter.
Mhm.
But the fact that like in this dungeon Asta finds the sword that's
Oh, holy
specifically
shit.
tailored for him
I-
makes me think like how much did the Wizard King know about this? too?
I seriously doubt that.
Yeah,
I doubt it. I doubt it too, but
Yeah.
like
It's
feel
like,
like-
cool to speculate on, but he definitely didn't because he was like fucking shook at
that's true.
the
Yeah,
sword when Asta showed it off.
that is true. But yeah, they go off to the dungeon. It's a really cool, like
Yeah, it's like
design of the
MC
dungeon. That
it's
first,
like MC Usher stairs, but everything is that.
yeah, it's like they specifically say, don't they? Like that's some sort of weird gravity stuff going on, right?
Hmm.
Or am I just
No, yeah, they do
thinking
say
Yeah.
that.
Oh, okay.
They say stuff
But
about
yeah,
gravity and magic and stuff.
especially that one like full page spread when they first like find the big open area of the dungeon is really really nice to look at, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty cool looking.
But yeah, to enter the dungeon.
Dude, the like the opening of this arc had one of the most solid fantasy gags I've ever been exposed to. That thing where Asta sees the mimic and goes to fucking chase it, and he opens it up expecting to find like thousands of dollars in gold, and it's just fucking organs because it's fucking alive.
Oh
I thought that
yeah,
was hilarious.
That was a good one. I like that.
that was very good.
I think that's a bit later, and the
Yeah.
opening is other traps and stuff. Luck leaves Noel and Asta behind, and they just kind of like they're kind like Luck like deliberately set off some traps for fun, and that's like a very good way to like I won't say reintroduce because it really hasn't been that long since we last saw him at the start of like chapter
It's
4.
not really reintroducing because
Yeah,
we haven't
but,
really
like-
seen too much of like this
Yeah,
side of
Yeah,
his
but like
character
we
yet.
gotta
It-
read
it
on him.
solidifies you. It
of.
solidifies him in your mind. Like
Like
putting
we saw that
everything out
he
in the
liked to
open.
fight Magna, but that was like pretty much it.
Yeah. But, like I get what you're saying, Ash. That's like what I'm trying to say. You're sort of getting second it's solidifying it. You're right. It's you see that he's this like nutty dude that likes danger to a like dangerous degree, I guess.
Yeah.
Setting off traps just to see what they do because they look neat, going off like on his own when he feels he senses a disturbance in the force. It goes off on
It
his own
really
because
does
he's like,
though.
yeah,
Yeah.
he feels some other people, and then he's like, oh, there's a possible fight in here later. I'm going after that. He just kind of leaves the rookies. Like you guys take care of yourself. I'm gonna go get my rocks off.
He said
And
later
so he
skaters,
does.
and then he turned his cap backwards and skated away.
Yeah, his
true.
lightning skates. That's his spell, lightning skates. Luke was a skater boy. He said, "See you later, boy." And then we get. I'm not again. I don't want to say reintroduce because it really hasn't been that long since we last saw him. But Yuna's back, and it hasn't been that it hasn't been that long in the anime. But for the manga, it's been like a volume-ish.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we literally haven't seen him since he was assigned to the
Magic
Golden
Man.
Dawn. So this is
That's true. We
This is the
haven't
first
seen him
time,
since we haven't seen him since the tournament. The scene of him like being introduced to the Golden Dawn, that was anime only, and obviously that stuff with Salim, that was anime only. So this is the first time we've seen him in a hot sec, and we meet two of his cohorts, Klaus and Mimosa. Dylan, I'm sure you have stuff to say about Mimosa.
she's my favorite character.
Nice.
Just because she's cute.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I like Klaus because he's cute.
I mean, not gonna lie, they're both cute, but
They are.
Klaus isn't cute at first.
Yeah, Klaus is like
Klaus is a horrible bastard until he learns to
not be.
fucking check his classist prejudices and like be like super soon lovey about his fucking buddy Asta.
Yeah, Klaus gets the Klaus in this arc gets a heavy dose of check your privilege going, and he has a very solidly. I'd say like Luck also gets a lot of development in this arc, but I'd say Klaus's development is more like solidly placed. I think, you know.
For sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get what you mean. Because he's such a bastard at first, and I
Yeah,
like literally forgot that.
yeah, he's
I remembered him kind of being like a bro with metal magic.
That's
Yeah,
because he
he's-
just does a fucking 180 like
I mean,
immediately.
kind of.
Well,
Not
like not
immediately.
immediate, like in like the grand scheme of things immediately, but in this arc obviously it takes the whole arc, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
yeah, I see what you're
guess so.
saying.
For the majority of the story as a whole, like he's just a bro.
And he's a real like I was mistaken about Seke being noble. It turns out he was a commoner. So and Salim lasted a page in the if that in the manga, and
Yeah.
he lasted a bit longer. But Klaus is our first real like named noble
yeah.
character that sticks around, and we can like see more clearly the depths of like how it's like beaten into nobles' heads by other nobles that like commoners and peasants, they suck, treat them like shit. Like he
Yeah.
lasts long enough to like really show us that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
definitely.
since like between like the initial pilot and the chapter 1 that we saw, the like person who attacked Yuno was changed from a noble to random criminal Revchi. Like Klaus is our first real look at like how nobles act and like and how they act when it lasts longer than a chapter, because Noelle kind of changes her tune fairly quickly.
Yeah.
She's still a brat, as we see here, but she's better.
Noelle, I don't think she ever really gave a shit about that. I think she
Yeah,
just thinks of herself personally as like she has
Yeah.
a standard to meet, and so she has to act that way. But like,
Yeah, it's like a
that's
defense mechanism for her.
yeah.
It's like if I
Oh, yeah,
can't be
for
a noble through magic, I'll be a
Now-
noble through the attitude.
Now there's also another character like that who is also just introduced, Mimosa, who I said
Yeah.
one word about. But so with Mimosa, she seems like very much like in the same vein as Klaus, like where she also like kind of like she has this prejudice against poor people like at the start of the arc, and then by the end of the arc she doesn't. But like I have no idea like what sparks this change in her aside from just thinking Asta is cool.
I
Did
think
you
it's like
really even aren't the Vermilions just weird and like
No,
less prejudiced?
she does. Um there's a couple I can't remember exactly, but there's a couple lines like that like imply that she has this prejudice also, but she's less like
she's
open
like,
about it or confrontational, I guess, like as it
yeah.
like where Klaus is he's like this he's the leader, he's like the senpai, he has to like so it's very apparent because he's openly like you know
he's openly
chiding you know
openly a dick.
yeah
And
but Mimosa
is just like
she's a
Mimosa
newbie,
seems very
she's subtle
compared to like compared to like other royals, Mimosa seems the most like sheltered. So like what she knows about commoners and peasants and how to treat them probably like was told to her,
Okay.
and like she never really like
that
did
makes sense.
much beyond like the castle walls to be like, oh, I shouldn't do that. So she's like, she's a sweetheart inside, and like that shows because like even now she's not really being a bitch. She's just kind of like passive about it, like, and like it passively comes off her because she's not actively trying to be a dick about it.
Mike, you
Yeah.
just made me like my favorite character more.
Nice. You
No,
can't
because
see, but I did
it
just
makes
stab.
so much sense now because she was so sheltered, like she had never like really met a commoner that would like in any way that would let her like see like the good sides. But now
Hmm.
seeing Asta, he's like the first commoner that she's met who is like cool basically,
Yeah.
who has any like qualities
He's-
that would you know be redeeming
Busting
in
all
her
her
view.
preconceptions.
Yes.
I
So
think that
that's cool.
answers a question. I think that actually kind of answers the questions I have later, which is like how her sudden crush on Asta in the
Yeah,
next arc manifests. But that kind of
that makes
kind of
sense.
explain it away a bit. Like he busted all her preconceptions in a way.
And then as for Klaus, it also makes sense. Like Klaus
Why he
wouldn't
has a
have
crush on
that.
Asta.
Well, yeah, but Klaus, he's been a Magic Knight for a while, so he does have experience with commoners. But it's
Yeah.
just that
He has the
like
standard Magic Knight experiences, especially of the Golden Dawn, which are like almost all royals and
Yeah.
nobles and stuff.
yeah,
So he has that kind of like, he has the experience of seeing commoners and peasants as shitty. So he kind of like, he's more upfront about that prejudice he has as a noble, because like in his mind, he's got the experience to know that it's quote unquote true. And Asta once again busts his preconceptions. Except
yeah.
it's more like obvious with him because he's more stuck in his ways.
Yeah. Very
Yeah,
well put.
that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. So that's them. Let's talk about the villains of this arc, and
Oh, the
let's start with
villains.
the first one we see. Luck goes off on his own. The Golden Dawn are heading for the treasure vault after Mimosa uses a really cool spell to find
Oh
it.
yeah,
I love magic
Mimosa's
spells, and
Mimosa's fucking loadout is crazy. She
Oh
has
yeah,
uh flower creation magic, I think is the name,
plant creation magic, but it's
but
basically just
it's
flowers.
got like
Thing.
crazy abilities like healing and like fucking
later she
can
gets
give you a map
more
of like,
offensive.
anywhere and shit.
But I like
Yeah, she
these
gets like
like
a fucking light laser beam eventually.
yeah, I like these like more support based abilities we see sometimes because a lot of stuff we've seen so far is just like, oh, fire blast, oh, it's a wind blast, stuff like that. Now it's like plant, which is still kind of elemental in my opinion. Like
It is
elemental
elemental.
powers are
Yeah.
kind of boring a bit, but it's not just like a straight up attack. It's like, oh, I'm using mana to map out this place. That's really cool. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go after the treasure vault. Asta and Noel are kind of doing the same thing, but they're kind of doing it in like a shit, what are we doing? Let's just bumble around until we do something way. Luck goes off to find the people that he sensed, and he finds a bunch of scrubs that he takes out kind of off screen with his pretty cool lightning powers. In terms of
Yeah, the
elemental
fucking
powers,
lightning armor.
I love like unique. Well, elemental powers have to be unique for me, and his isn't just like
Yeah.
regular blast. He can blast, but he's got the gauntlets and the shoes, and I like that.
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
of
the fucking
variation with
demon
like the magic
claws.
system in this.
It feels like it fits his like loves to fight personality because I don't think somebody who like
Yeah.
loves to fight would just be like a hang back and blast type.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
And he meets Lotus.
I'm
And
gonna be
compare
honest. I just don't never knew his name until you said it. I just
really.
I don't know.
I never
like,
knew his name until I wrote it down in the notes.
Yeah, I just thought of him as like old guy from Diamond Kingdom.
Huh.
That's it.
Well, compared to Heath Grice, Lotus and Mars later, but like I think mainly Lotus has a lot more charisma to him.
He
I like him.
does, but he's
Mm.
also like he's less forgettable than Heath. He's definitely way more forgettable than Mars. Like Mars is like
Oh yeah.
sticks in your mind, but this guy is
Mar-
like an afterthought in my opinion.
Mars sticks
Well-
out more, yeah, but I think Lotus has like he has a very good personality. He's like an old soldier. He's not some sort of like battle freak. He's not in it because like, oh, I'm so
Yeah,
patriotic.
he's
He's in it 'cause,
like-
it's a living.
You know, I really think he
Really
could
dude
shine
doing
in
stuff.
his own arc, but like put in this arc with Mars is like it doesn't really work. It doesn't do his character very much justice. You know?
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Fair.
I think
Um,
I think the mangaka feels the same because he said in one of those interviews we read that he'd like to bring both Lotus and Mars back and have them like fight together or something like that. I'm looking
Interesting.
forward to if that comes around. But I
Well,
like him.
I think there's a pretty good chance of that happening,
I think
like soon in the manga.
that it's very cool that they're like elaborating on the like border conflicts in this arc because that's like mentioned in passing during some exposition
Oh,
about
yeah.
the Wizard King and the Magic Knights.
Like up
Mm.
until this point, like other countries basically just didn't exist,
Mm.
as far as we knew.
We got
mean-
they got name drop, but this is the first we're seeing of them,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is an important setup for later the witch's forest arc, and then even later, like the stuff we're getting in the manga now. It's important again, so it's good to have this like short-ish arc instead of just having like more Eye of the Midnight Sun people or just some random
Yeah.
raiders and stuff. We're getting some exposition about the wider world outside of the Clover Kingdom.
hmm It's very cool to have this stuff set up early for it to be mixed in and came back to later.
I like when that kind of stuff happens. So that's Lotus, and there's also Mars. What do you guys think of Mars?
Um, I think his ability's pretty cool, fucking crystal creation and whatnot, but
Mm.
I feel like he's a little too edge, but you guys seem to like him a lot.
I
Well, I mean like he seems like a really like big fan favorite character. and like he seems like something that like a lot like he's like a character that a lot of people really like, and I'm just
he was like
not on
designed
that.
to be cool.
I'm not on that train. Like
Yeah,
I like
same.
him, but I don't like he's not like one of my favorite
He's
characters.
cool, but he's boring.
Yeah.
I feel like we're meant to get a vibe from him that he's simply not prominent enough to give off.
Yeah,
Like,
he doesn't
there's not that much prestige. I know he comes back, but like
he doesn't
kinda
stick
dies
around.
here after he comes back.
He doesn't really stick around long enough in this arc to like really set the kind of like you're supposed. I feel like the vibe you're supposed to get from it is this like he's a monster. He won't go down. Nothing we can do can even scratch him. He's totally
Well, I get that vibe.
like a monster. Like yeah, that's a vibe you're
That
supposed to
vibe
get,
is,
and
like,
like it comes
established.
through. But like what I'm
I don't
saying
think
is
it
I
comes
don't think
through
it
hard enough.
lasts.
Yeah, it doesn't
Doesn't
last
go hard
through.
enough on it, and it doesn't last long enough to really feel it. And I, but I do like about he actually kind of reminds me of Gara, like early Gara.
Yes.
I could see that.
Just
This
less
sort of
homicidal.
Yeah.
homicidal here. He
He's still
almost
pretty
kills
homicidal,
Marosa.
but
Remember when Gara would
That's
fucking
psycho.
bore people early on?
oh
yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Gara was a fucking meme.
Oh
A
yeah,
meme?
he was all edge. He was the guy who praised the Shadow the Hedgehog with an AK under his bed.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
What I do like about Mars, though, is not exactly him, but like what's been done to him. Like
Oh yeah, his
his
like the experiment.
enhancement. Yeah,
That's like a
I-
cool as shit piece of world building
yeah.
that would, of course exists in this magical world.
I love in like shonen shows that have fantasy elements. I love it when there's characters that like pick and prod at the power system, essentially like magical scientists of stuff.
Yeah.
Like just kind of take advantage of all the different ways you can up your power or up your strats in the fantasy aspects. Like in Bleach, you have characters like Urahara and Kurosuchi. In Naruto, you have people like Orochimaru and Kabuto, and like in One Piece, you have characters like Frankie, Vegapunk, Blackbeard, and like we don't really get a character like that here, but we get inklings of what's been done
Well,
to characters by people like that. And with Mars, you have the magic enhancing gems in his forehead, which are pretty cool, but also like the mix and match stitched up grimoire that gives him like both his own
Yeah.
crystal magic and the fire magic of his old friend Fauna.
well,
And I really like that. It's
there
really
is a
cool.
character like that, I think, Sally, but I don't think she like
Oh,
does
yeah.
that. She doesn't really do it justice.
Yeah,
But we'll
it's
talk
because
about that later because she comes in the next arc that we're talking about.
Very briefly.
Yeah.
it's because she's faintly redeemable and like didn't get enough focus to be like a full murder psycho.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't really see enough of her experiments. We just kind of like saw the aftermath of like, oh look, I have this item that does this. We didn't really get to see enough of her like do the experimenting. I think.
Yeah.
She's also like my favorite character.
Yeah, I love Sally. Honestly, she reminds me a lot of Hatsume from My Hero Academia, who I also love.
Yes.
The pink-haired girl with the
Yeah,
cross eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, the engineer girl.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm pretty sure they have the same voice in the dub.
Oh, really? That's
I
I think
so.
also in the sub.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's fun. But back to this arc. Those are the two main antagonists, and we've touched on Klaus's character arc. But like, what seems a bit more like Klaus's is kind of like in the background across the arc, but like what really comes to the forefront at a certain point is Luck's backstory, and I used to think it went by a little too quick, but I don't really think that anymore. I think we get just enough time to get what it's all about, because you have him going into battle and he's all smiles, and we know his like his people calling him like a battle freak, crazy guy, stuff like that.
Freaking
And
maniac.
He's
what
a
was his name again?
maniac.
Like the alias that people give him? I forget his.
Battle-
Fury
Battle-
Berserker.
Cheery Berserker.
Oh, that was it. Luck the Cheery
like that.
Berserker. That's
And-
so good.
We get this
Yeah.
we got this backstory for him that really kind of like puts in a very it's a very like good backstory. I think maybe the only flaw with it could be that it goes a little bit fast, but I've moved past thinking that that's a flaw. I think it's a really good backstory because like we see his like he's always had this creepy smile on his face. People who watch Fire Force kind of like Shinra, but more like I guess permanent because he's always smiling. And like Luck's mom was kind of like abusive about it. Like she hit him once and she's like, "Stop doing the smiles, you look creepy kid." But then like the first time she really shows any sort of and he doesn't have a dad either. It seems like his only person, his only support system, only person that could possibly like show him some love is his mom. The first time he receives any affection for her is when he beats a noble in a fight and she hugs him and she's like, "Yes, do that, that's good, keep
Yeah.
winning." And then like she dies shortly after, it seems, and Luck's just stuck in this perpetual state of mind that it's like, I have to keep fighting and I have to keep winning because that's the only way I'll ever get any affection.
Yeah, well, it makes a lot of sense because he only has this one figure that like could possibly like this one really important person to him in his life. And like there's only one thing that this one person seems to like about him. And so like it's just like a psychological thing where like he sees that he now has to repeat this over and over again.
Exactly.
It's just become so ingrained in him, even if it only happened once, but because it was at such a young age and because like it was so like just instrumental to his childhood. And so now he just loves to fight. Like that's just how it's manifested.
I'm looking for the quote itself.
I think it's something like "never stop winning."
Something like that. I'm looking for it now, but
it's actually really cool that like they actually gave like a reason why he would be like why he would like fighting so much. Because like in Bleach, Kenpachi just likes fighting.
Yeah,
And that's just it. Like he just likes fighting. There's no like no reason like it's given why. Like he just likes the thrill of fighting and like the thrill of like almost dying and like
it never crossed my mind how much lamer that makes him that there's no like established reason.
It doesn't make him well it's like certainly a negative, but like just the extremes to which his character goes is it obviously completely overcomes that.
Yeah,
Like
Bleach has a lot of characters that are tentatively on the side of good, but you're never supposed to like. They're not role models like Kenpachi and Kurosuchi. And I found the quote that I was looking for. It's when right before Asta leaps in to save Luck, and he's caught in Lotus's special binding smoke or whatever, and it's Luck's inner monologue going, "Win. I have to keep winning, or else what I want will go away." And then he thinks, "Wait, what was it that I wanted?" Like this mindset is so ingrained with him that it's like keep fighting because and like inside it's like he has the feeling that like win because then people will love me, but like it's so ingrained into him that the phrase win keep on winning that like he can't even remember what comes after the because. It's just keep fighting because and then like he's like then good things will happen, I think. Why am I fighting again?
oh my god. He was so focused on the road he was on that he forgot the end point.
Yeah. And that's where Asta comes in, and right then he said it in like Lotus is like, "Wait, who are you?" And Asta's like, "I'm his friend." And that's when things kind of click into place for Luck. He's like, "Oh yeah, I wanted friends." And then when Asta's like defending him and saying, "We'll fight him together," Luck's like, "No, I have to do this on my own because dot dot dot." Because he can't really remember what comes after. But Asta's like, no, I'm your friend, so we'll do this together. I don't want to see you like die or nothing. And that's when it clicks fully for Lux. Like, oh yeah, I have I had to keep fighting and winning because that's how I got people to like me. That's how I got mommy to love me. But now he's like, but wait, there's people who will love me even if I'm not winning constantly. And that kind of like that's kind of his arc for this arc. He changes because he realizes I don't need to be constantly fighting in order to get affection. Which is just such a good
It
Yeah,
just
very
message.
cool.
it just makes sense.
Wholesome
That's
murder
it.
boy moment.
It just fits.
Yeah.
Really.
Yes. All right. So now that we're done with that, uh
I wanted to go back to Mars for a second
oh,
because
okay.
I figured like a lot of the spell names and attack names in this
Oh yeah.
show, they're like kind of bland. It's like Swift White Hawk, Towering Tornado, Lightning Bolt. It's just kind of bland, I guess. But Mars, in keeping with like the idea that he's supposed to give off this monstrous demigod kind of vibe, all of his attack names are named after like mythology things, and I have a little list of them right here. His Nemean armor, that's named after the Greek myth of the Nemean lion, which a lion killed by Hercules and skinned to make armor because it had impenetrable fur, and that's his armor. Talos doll. Talos was a bronze automaton made by Hephaestus, god of
Hephaestus.
his intake. God of blacksmiths, metalworking, and stuff. Like he's making actual automatons. Heavy armor Titan. I'm sure people kind of know what Titans
Yeah, what the
are.
Titans are.
Harpe, that's a sickle sword that's like mentioned mainly in mythology, and Leviatine, which is those were all
Levantine
like Leviatine.
or
All the
Leviathan.
previous it was like that's the only one that's not a Greek myth. That's a Norse myth, and it was apparently like a thing. I forget what it was. Was it used by Loki?
Leviathan?
No, not Leviathan. It's It's not like an actual. Hold on, I'll Google it.
Oh, so this is something
Yeah,
different from Leviathan.
I remember the
In
spell was
in
weird. I
Norse
thought it was
mythology,
at first.
Leviatine is a weapon crafted by Loki, mentioned in the poetic Edda poem. So it's a weapon
Okay.
in Mars. So I thought that was interesting to have him. He's really the
They're
first
all
character
weapons or like tools or armor from mythology.
yeah, and I
also
think
cool
that
because his name is Mars, fucking
Well, yeah.
Roman
God of
war.
War. Yeah, I feel like that's
Also
interesting
egg.
to note that he's the first character to really have a deeper meaning to his spell names beyond kind of sounding cool.
Well, I mean, Lotus had a car, and people apparently know what those are in this world.
That's true.
I got
Uh,
the impression that
I
it was
just
like
really needed to
well,
mention that.
I got the
Carriage.
impression that it was like a train car, not like an
Horseless
automobile.
carriages.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even feel that the
Well, even if it's
implication
a
that
train car, it's
trains
still out
exist
of
in this
place,
world
but
is-
like
yeah,
that's just the
Yeah,
impression
they
I
don't
got
have
because of
trains
it was
here.
like made of smoke.
That's true. Yeah. To save Locke, they go and save Yuno and the Golden Dawn from Mars because like Yuno's kind of getting his ass kicked, which I kind of like. He was the golden boy a little bit too long. It's nice to see him struggle for once.
yeah.
I say after he was only around for 3 chapters.
Well,
mean,
he needs to
you
struggle.
got to show the cocky guy getting his teeth kicked in once in a while, you know.
That's true.
Well, not even
Uh,
that. It's just like he's our secondary protagonist. So like
Yeah.
we
You
need
gotta
to
see his
like
struggles.
he's been unopposed up until this point, and so like we have to see like that
We gotta see that he's not hot shit now that he's in
yeah
the world.
like he
Yeah.
thinks he's hot shit, but we have to see that he is not, like he actually has some growing to do, and so
Yeah,
and
that's what this
and
is.
that's something that comes
real
up more
world
in the
now.
next arc too.
Hmm.
But yeah, they beat Mars, and I love you especially, Ash. I think you said you loved this line of when Asta defeats Mars. Mars says like, I'm diamond.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are
Um,
gravel. What was the line
Dude.
again?
Fuck. It should be in my notes.
I don't even know.
Asta is the gravel that shatters diamonds.
Yes.
That is cool as fuck.
Yeah, that is a
Interesting.
great line.
Wonderful piece of symbology about his status and shit.
Exactly. He's gravel to all these people, but he can actually force change.
Hmm.
I like that. Then they
Asta
get
strong.
into the big strong muscles.
Once they defeat Mars, fucking, they start digging around in the treasure
Start
room. with that.
looting.
But suddenly, fucking twist reveal about Mars's 2 magical abilities.
Mm.
And he
got
gets
2.
back up.
He's covered in fire now. That's a thing he can do.
Healing fire, which is apparently like decently common thing because we see it again.
That's
on
true.
another
Well,
character.
Well, at a lot, it's not uncommon to have like healing magic because so the way it works is like any
No,
magical attribute can like it can be
It's like-
any kind of like it could be
No,
creation
I know.
magic or
I
Like
know.
a stat tree thing, right?
yeah.
Kinda.
I just feel like it's kind of weird to see him literally being on fire and being like, "Yes,
Yeah.
this is restoring myself to their
This is
optimal
fine."
condition."
Well, the specific spell name is Phoenix Robe, and if you know
That's
what
true.
Phoenix
Oh, that-
is,
yeah,
are,
yeah, that
Another
makes
Greek
sense.
then it
mythology
makes
thing.
sense.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
And he fucks up Noel bad, and Luck and Klaus and not Mimosa,
Mimosa?
just Luck and Klaus.
Oh,
Mimosa's like healing
Oh,
Noel,
yeah.
I think.
oh, we're
And
that far in.
Yeah, we kind of glossed over the fights, but there's not much like
There's not much to
you
talk
say-
about other than it's cool.
Yeah. Because
I-
otherwise we just kind of be recapping, which is just
Yeah.
kind of like
Well,
you
I
could
guess
kinda
go somewhere else
recap,
for
but, like-
recapping.
I guess something neat to mention is that since everyone can sense magic, if you use like field of view obscuring abilities, Asta is like actually undetectable.
that's
That's
true.
pretty
Oh
neat.
yeah,
I like
we didn't
that.
mention that.
And
that's
that kind of
pretty cool.
comes
There's a
kinda
lot of
comes-
cool like
comes full
tactical
circle with
very
advantages.
his
cool.
key thing.
Well, we haven't
Uh,
even gotten to Key yet.
That's
Oh
true.
yeah, definitely.
Uh,
Yeah.
What we do get to in this arc, Asa gets a second magic sword, very just kind of by happenstance, I think. Like nobody
yeah, that
knew this was
mysterious
here.
bird like leads him onto it.
Yeah, Nero kind of points it out to him, but like the fact that it was in this dungeon that Asta was told to go to, it's very kind of coincidental. And
Yeah, I feel like it's
IMO.
just one of those
I
things
mean,
you have
it's
to.
okay. So I was just thinking, like, it's kind of similar to how, like, they just kind of happen upon all the magic stones all the time. But, like, it
Yeah.
actually makes sense because, of course, like, the Eye of the Midnight Sun is also after the stones. And so, like, they would just encounter them randomly like that because that's where the Eye of the Midnight Sun's going, and that's just how it happens. But with this, like, it's just completely random. All of a sudden, someone just discovers the dungeon, and then 2 nations go to fucking explore the dungeon, and then Asta just happens to find this fucking sword out of nowhere.
and just happens to fucking
Get Sylph.
get Sylph an elemental spirit, which coincidentally matches up to his own element. Like, imagine if he had found Salamander.
Dude, the wind
dude.
can be hot too.
That's true.
Um,
Hot wind attack. Oh,
This is kind of why, like, I want to believe, like, your theory that the fucking Wizard King
yeah,
knew
that
all
would be
about
really
this,
cool.
but, like, there's no fucking
There's no
way.
way.
yeah. There's nothing to really suggest that. That's just,
Yeah.
that theory is just kind of me trying to make
yeah.
sense and say like, no, it's not a coincidence. But it really just is kind of a coincidence that
Like if there were like a throwaway line that Julius could use his time magic to like glimpse the past for like a second, I could maybe believe that Mike's thing would be like
yeah.
totally undeniable.
Thing is,
But-
I think they're probably going to end up like retconning that at some point. Like they're gonna or something like that. Like they're gonna
think so?
explain it in some way, and it's just
Uh,
it's gonna
well,
be
'cause-
unsatisfying either way.
Yeah. That's-
yeah, I mean, they don't exactly do a good job explaining the other sword either,
Yeah.
or the next sword.
Oh yeah.
No, that one makes sense.
Well, I mean,
The next sword
Sorta.
makes a lot of sense.
a lot more sense.
More sense than just
I-
coincidence.
I feel like you're missing something, but we'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah.
I could be
Uh,
misremembering. It's been plenty of time.
I like we're near the end of the arc, so I just want to say that like I like how Asta really just like he's the main damage dealer throughout this extended fight with Mars, but he's not the one to finish it. It's kind of like it really feels like a group fight when like
Yeah.
I think the fight later against Vito is like the best fight of the series because of like how well it works as a group fight, but this is also kind of feels a bit group fighting too because Asta was the main damage dealer, but like the final blow goes to Yuno and his new fairy friend Sylph. We don't actually get a name for yet, but it's Sylph.
Yeah.
And like he gets this super powerful wind attack and it goes poosh and Mars goes down. That also brings the dungeon down and here I am, history and archaeology nerd, being like, no,
Oh my God.
thousands of years of history is being
Yeah.
destroyed.
I mean, dude, it's inevitable in anime that the
Yeah.
battlefield has to be unrecognizable by the end.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not like a major thing. It's just like a little nitpick from someone like me.
Yeah,
No,
I agree.
I get it.
Yeah. Klaus completes his character arc. Luck has completed his, gets a Tinkerbell. Asta gets a second sword. Oh, right. I forgot to mention. Asta uses his sword to
Oh, yeah.
use a water attack.
Swords- He borrows Noel's magic, and
Is
that's
that how they say it?
Yeah, that's what it
yeah,
is.
Yeah.
That's what the
And
fucking sword
it's
does.
just a thing that the second sword can do, but it doesn't come back again until someone else steals the sword away from him.
Actually, no, it does happen in not the next arc, the arc after it. He uses it again with Gosh, and then the next time he uses it is when Licht uses it.
Huh. But yeah, it feels like something that should be more prevalent, but like
Yeah.
he really only uses that sword when like, oh, the big claymore is too big or it's too slow. I'll use the smaller,
yeah.
lighter sword.
I think
And
what
like
it
it's not even
is like
it's not even a thing where like he doesn't know its true capabilities. Like he saw what happened. Other people saw what happened. It's just like a thing he doesn't really do.
he doesn't know it's we'll learn later that like there is more to it. Like he's still not using it to its full
Yeah,
potential.
but like
but,
you can
like,
know it's
yeah.
a thing that it could do.
I think really what it is just like at this like Asta's move pool just becomes so varied. Is that like it's hard for like the author to like actually keep up with like being using like every ability like in every
That's
fight.
true.
You know what I mean?
Protagonists have to have a relatively simple power set. Like Luffy is a brawler. Ichigo just fights with the sword and occasionally gets Getsuga Tensho. He doesn't have Kido or something because that
Oh
would
yeah, dude.
mix up his that would mix up his move set too much, and there would be times when like people would go, "Why didn't he just do this during the fight? That would have worked." Not that's why Naruto sucks
Naruto
at
is
every
horrible about that.
Naruto sucks at every jutsu that isn't punch you in the face Rasengan.
Or
Honestly,
Shadow
I
Clones.
feel like
Shadow
Naruto
Clones.
has too many abilities. I
No.
mean, most of them kind of come from Kurama, but
Well, at
Yeah.
the end, he gets fucking like infinite abilities, basically.
yeah.
But for
I
like
don't-
the majority of the series, it's literally just fucking Shadow
Overall,
Clones of Rasengan
yeah.
and variations of Rasengan.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
overall,
I guess I feel like the base Naruto character has a lot more abilities compared to other shows. And
Yes, that's just
very
how that
weird.
series is.
plus he's got like tools and stuff like the kunai. So
Well,
he's
yeah.
got a reasonably varied move set compared to someone like Ichigo. But, like in general, Shonen pro tags have a very simple move set, so Asta getting some sort of copy ability, if he used that a lot, things would get kind of messy. So it makes sense why he doesn't use it much. But I wish there was more of like a reason
Yeah.
behind him not using much than just, oh, he doesn't.
Asta used sword. It was super
No.
effective.
But what if that happened in the next arc? Somebody says Asta use sword, and he's like, no, sitting this one out. Tired.
Dude, he'd finally activate his anti-magic fists, and
Fist someone, yeah.
yeah.
What if Asta's fourth sword is just his dick?
That'd be
What a
fun.
thing to say.
What if he
Yes.
sacrificed that in a battle? Like how like
Yeah,
how
yeah.
it's like someone's like what am I thinking of? Like what was the show where it was like I don't like you want
Are you
I
thinking
don't
of later
need-
in the manga when he's
No.
No?
I don't know what I'm thinking of. Just ignore that. Ignore. Wipe that
Okay.
from your memory. I never said it. But no, I'm not thinking of that. Anything else about the dungeon arc?
Nah.
Did
So
Noelle
immediately
do
af-
anything?
No.
She helped a bit in the
In
fight-
the
Lotus fight, and then like when the Black Bull showed up to help fight Mars, she had like a little thing with Mimosa to like kind of cement how their relationship once was. Like Noelle looked out for Mimosa because Mimosa was kind of, I guess, kind of
Well,
like
yeah, she was
apparently
like
stupid.
shy and like well, I don't
She
think
tripped.
stupid.
She tripped once. We saw a flashback and she tripped, and that was like, yeah, I gotta take care of you.
It
because
was like
you
Noelle was
tripped.
like the older sister basically.
Kinda, yeah. They're like sisters,
even
and
though
they're
they're
kind
the
of
same age.
reaffirming that in the present day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the dungeon arc. What do you guys think of the dungeon arc overall? Do you think it was good? I thought it was
Uh,
good.
Dude, Black Clover's my fucking favorite. Of course, I thought it was good.
Yeah. Aside from like coincidences of the
Yeah.
story, I thought it was a good arc. And we'll move on to the
Overall.
last arc. We move on from here to the last arc that we'll cover in this long episode, this long first episode, which is the Royal Capital Invasion arc.
Oh
And
yeah.
that starts with Asta, like the Wizard King summons Asta and and like
The
a
boys.
couple others come along. Noelle tags along. Charmy kind of like sneaks her way into tagging along. This is the first time we really see much of Charmy beyond the group stuff at the Black Bull hideout. Klaus and Mimosa go too.
Can we
there
just
was-
take a moment to appreciate how awesome Charmy is?
I
Dude,
love Charmy.
I,
Favorite
I don't.
character.
I don't think she's nearly as great as Dylan seems to, but she's fun.
I don't know like what's wrong with me, but I just like her.
I love
Dylan, it's-
Charmy.
Dylan, it's because you have a shit fetish and you know she poops a lot.
Yeah,
That's
true
that-
fact.
that's quite the thing. That's quite the proclamation to create. Let's move.
Do you have any direct evidence to support your claim?
Let's
You've
move
told
on
me
before I
on many
start.
occasions
no.
that you like pooping
Okay,
and farting, Dylan.
Let's
Let-
move on before I start picturing things in my head. Charmy tags along, but like kind of in secret. So it's just like Asta, Noelle, and the three Golden Dawn that we know. And we meet the Wizard King. They meet the Wizard King, and like we see more of how the Wizard King is a magic nerd. We see his like the Wizard King's silly face. Most characters just kind of have one silly face in this manga. Asta and Noelle have like the blank white eyes and like the sideways 8 mouth. Yuno has like the half closed blank eyes and small frown. The Wizard King has like the smile and like the
Big fucking sparkly
big
eyes.
sparkly eyes. Yeah, that's his silly face, and we see that for the first time here. We see that he doesn't really get what Asta's writing in his grimoire is, but he gets the fact that like the swords are weird as fuck.
Mhm.
And I like the scene where Yuno and Asta ask him, how do I become the Wizard King? And like
Oh
the
yeah,
wizard, yeah,
you think he's gonna say some shit about, oh, it's all persistence, it's working
determination.
hard, and you get this like whimsical vibe of him before this part,
Yeah,
and then
and
he
even
just
Klaus,
dead straight answers.
right
Mm.
before this, on the page before, Klaus is like, You
It's
guys are being,
honor,
yeah,
nobility.
you gotta have
need
a
power,
you gotta have a noble heart and
a
a
kind
trusted
spirit and shit like
and
that.
like the Wizard King is just like,
Julius,
no,
no,
it's
all
trust.
merit.
Yeah, it's all merit. You have to do shit and be good at it because you are the pillar of trust that people have in the Magic Knights. So you have to be the most important thing. You can't just be determined and want it enough. You have to do stuff. You have to be good at your job, essentially. It's merit. And I love that. It reminds
Oh,
me
yeah.
of Naruto versus Neji, where Neji asks Naruto like, okay, so you want to be the Hokage? Do you think that nobody else wants to? Do you think it's just a job you get by wanting it hard enough? Except Black Clover is saying, like, Black Clover essentially saying what Neji's saying, like, you can't become the thing just through
Exactly.
determination and wanting it. You have to actually do some shit, be good at your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
in Naruto, like it I like what you just said with Neji. And like at the start of Naruto, we actually get like we see like what Naruto's idea of being the Hokage is. Because in the second chapter when when he's talking to Konohamaru, Konohamaru, like, he wants to be the Hokage, but he has no like idea of like what that entails, or what like you need to do to become the Hokage. And so what Naruto says to him is, Naruto says, you need to gain the trust of everyone in the village. But that's all he says. Like, he doesn't expand on it. He just says you need the village to like you.
That
And
kind of
he
that
doesn't
kind of
it feels like Naruto just thinks that's something that you can just do easily. And so when he finally confronts Neji actually like points this out to him, that like he doesn't know, like,
and Naruto really doesn't have any like response outside of I'm gonna punch you into thinking you're that you yourself are wrong.
Man,
basically.
Naruto is just like my estranged
And
father.
in Black Clover, it is, like you said, it is giving the right answer. Like, it's
The-
the progression from Naruto.
Yeah, it's
The
taken.
author saw what happened in Naruto, and he
And was
just
like, I'm
made
gonna
it
do it
better.
right.
Yeah, unlike something like My Hero Academia, which looked at Naruto and said that I want to do exactly that. That's
Dude,
right. I'm
I
still coming for
I
you.
heard the author like
Still coming
literally
for you,
thinks
My Hero Academia
Naruto is the
fans.
best like the best shonen ever.
But yeah, that's something. That's this dichotomy between Black Clover and Naruto. That's why that's something I love about like Black Clover, is that it's kind of giving these shonen tropes like an actual foothold in the world, and that's not, like, more than that, like, about the be the thing plot lines in shonen. Like, it can't just be about like determination and wanting and enough. You gotta be good at what you gotta actually do what you gotta do. And
Yeah.
like even further than that, like between Naruto and Black Clover, it seems like becoming Hokage for Naruto, for a long time it seemed like that was just kind of a stand-in for Naruto saying, I want to be loved, I want attention, I want
Yeah.
some respect. Which is
Yeah.
like, I kind of would have been okay if he didn't become Hokage in the end, but realized that like I don't need to become the Hokage because I am loved. Like with Black Clover, the be the thing storyline is Asta becoming Wizard King, not because he just kind of wants to and thinks it'd be cool, but because he wants to make a point that someone like him, just bottom of the barrelless barrel, can be the Wizard King. Someone, it's got to be either him or because they came from nothing. But even
Even
now really,
had an advantage very early
yeah,
on.
even
Asta's
has
below that.
Asta has Asta has the has no advantage. He has the biggest disadvantages. So it's got to be him that becomes Wizard King, so he can prove that it doesn't matter the disadvantages. You can become Wizard King, and I like that. It's giving us a reason to root for Asta specifically to become the Wizard King beyond just being the protagonist and wanting to, which is something that a lot of these Be the Thing plot lines in Shonen kind of misses out on, because in those situations you can come across a character you like more and be like, why can't he be the thing instead of this character? Why can't Ojiro be the greatest hero instead of Deku? Why can't Eustace
Kiba
Kid
be
be
the
the Pirate
Hokage.
King over Luffy? Why can't Kiba be the Hokage? Yeah. Yeah. That's what I wanted to say about just Be the Thing plot lines in Shonen.
That was cool.
So they meet the Wizard King, and then they meet a lot more characters all at once. Just like a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, we've
Oh, I want to mention something real quick.
And
You guys know how the skinny sword can borrow magical abilities?
Yeah.
I'm making the bold claim that it's a massive fucking Chekhov's gun, that it absorbed some of Julius's magic, and that's super definitely going to come up by the end of the story.
I think so.
I don't think that's how it works. It just it just absorbs
Who
magic
knows?
spells.
I'm just laying an idea in the dirt.
It's an interesting idea. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but I don't know.
That would be an interesting thing if from now on, like, the sword, like, there was actually something that was visually different about it because of that reason.
Yeah.
Like, and that would be like a cool little thing to look back on, and like when it happens you'd be like, oh shit, and then you look back and you notice that there actually was like a clock on the sword or something.
Yeah.
I forgot it glowed when he absorbed Noel's ability.
So that's why I was thinking like there might be like some sort of visual indication if that were the case.
It's very small.
But again, I still think this is very unlikely.
It's very small. You can't see it, but it's there.
Anyway, they meet my favorite character, Alec Dora Sandler.
We met him before. We met him in chapter 2. But we didn't know his name was Sandler.
We also met him at the start of the dungeon.
Oh yeah. Hey, did we?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
there was like a flashback.
Conscience about sending a commoner on the mission.
Yeah, we meet Adam Sandler. We meet a lot of characters all at once. Some of which had been like kind of alluded to, like with Noel's siblings, but like most of these, and like the Royal or Magic Knight captains we kind of saw already, but this is our first real meeting of them. And at this point when I was first reading, I thought this is too much all at once. It reminds me a lot of the Supernova's introduction in One Piece. Dylan, you haven't read One Piece yet.
I don't even. You've name dropped the Supernova several times, and I don't even know. I know a decent amount about One Piece, but I don't even know what the fuck the Supernovas are. Never heard of them.
It's Luffy's pirate contemporaries, like a batch of about a dozen people that are roughly on level with him.
Oh yeah. I think I do know about that.
It's like rivals, but like they're not rivals for just that arc. They're rivals being set up for beyond.
Are they like kind of like similar to like say the Seven Deadly Swordsmen of the Mist?
No, that's more like the Warlords. The Supernovas are they're a batch of pirates that are supposed to be on level with Luffy. That like Luffy is like gaining notoriety at this point in the story. Nobody's thinking like, oh, he could become Pirate King aside from people that actually mention him.
Are they like grouped together? Like, are they like allies, or is it just people that have this?
Like, it's people who have reached this certain level of it's rookies it's rookie pirates who have reached a certain level of infamy that like they're all grouped together in this way because they're all at this one specific place at the same time.
That's what I thought.
They're sort
like-
of like the Konoha 11 because the Konoha 11 became
no.
the Konoha 11 because they were all in the tuning exams at the same time.
Yeah, it's sort of like the world is seeing them and thinking these are a bunch of rookies who may actually have what it takes to become Pirate King, and they're definitely going to be shaking things up.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the vibe I get from this introduction of the at the
Oh,
distinguished service exam
that makes sense.
because we're seeing these characters and Julius is saying like, can you stack up to people like these? And all of these characters are given names and we see them use magic in this arc, and you're thinking like, okay, so these are going to be some important characters in the future. We're just kind of meeting them now so we have an idea of who they are when they become important, kind of like how the Black Bulls
Yeah.
are introduced all at once in chapter 3 and 4, and then slowly over time they each have
Yeah.
an arc
That's
where we
like
learn more about them.
A very common trope in like
Yeah.
shonen, because generally we tend to get a bunch of new characters in waves. And then
Yeah.
like they become important, and like they're generally like somewhat related to each other, but not necessarily.
Yeah.
And usually in that wave there's usually like some sort of rival character that's introduced, like some sort of like sub rival character, not like a primary rival character, but like Leo is like a sub rival character basically. And
But like I'm bringing up the supernovas because the supernovas, even though it hasn't reached the point where all of them have become important yet, you know that they are all going to be important at some point. But with this, like they're at a very different levels of importance. Like
very varying.
Fuegoleon and Leopold and Charlotte, they're all important. I don't think we're getting the Hamon arc.
Oh yeah.
I don't think
Who
we're
the
getting
fuck
the
is Hamon?
the
Oh, is
fat
that
guy.
that's
The
oh
fat
yeah.
guy with the
Well,
mustache.
I don't think
Yeah.
we're getting the fucking what's his name? Not Adam Sandler, the Rock guy, the other Golden Dawn guy.
No.
I don't even remember this character.
No, isn't that a
He comes back right.
he's not from
right
the
at
Golden
start of
Dawn.
the-
He's from the Crimson Lions.
No, isn't he from the Golden Dawn?
Maybe I'm confusing two
Rock
characters.
guy?
I think you're confusing him with Fuegoleon, which is definitely
I'm
something
not
I did,
confusing him with Fuegoleon. What the fuck?
because, what's his name?
Fuegoleon's an
the guy who
important
makes the
character.
fucking stone map
Shir-
of the town.
Shiren Tillim of the Golden Dawn. With 8 stars, I grant you the title of Intermediate
Oh.
Magic Knight First Class. He's the
Oh
guy
yeah,
that
that guy. He has like the
guy who
really
makes the
stoic
map.
face and like
he has the stone magic that made the stone model of the world. That's sort of like an upgrade of Mimosa's plant.
Oh
model
yeah,
thing.
because he wasn't even in the tournament later, but he later showed up as like one of the supplementary members of the Royal.
he and
Royal
Cobb
Knights.
are at the start of the reincarnation arc
Yeah,
as like helping.
yeah,
as,
yeah.
Like he can make like it's important to kind of know. Like it's cool that we know who he is before then, but we're not getting the Shiren Tillim arc. We're not getting the Hamon arc.
No.
We're
Yeah.
not getting the
definitely
Never
not.
arc. Fuegoleon, Leopold, Charlotte, even kind of Saul and maybe
Soul
Nozel.
gets her like focus, a little bit of her focus.
Solid.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
So,
we get some with Solid, we get some with Nebra, because
So,
like
like-
they're tangentially related to Noelle, who is
Yeah.
like our one of our protagonists.
Yeah, but like the point I'm trying to make is that like compared to the supernovas or like even like the Black Bulls earlier, this like wave of new characters, there's definitely some like you're kind of expecting all of them to have some level of importance, and like some are very important, but some are not important at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. Well,
And, like,
the same
it
could also be
kinda-
said for the tuning exams.
Yeah, but
Oh,
like
God.
it kind
You
I
can
think that
remember
I
10.
think that's worth mentioning because like when you're getting all of these characters at once, there's like some pressure of the reader to like kind of like memorize them. So like okay, so I know who these people
Yeah.
are in the future.
It's
But like don't get hung up over memorizing Shiren Tilm's name. He's not important.
yeah, like
Amma is important.
they just don't need
Because-
to be here. If
Yeah.
these nameless like useless characters just weren't here, then like
If
it'd
we
be fine.
condense this, if we condense this little wave of new characters a bit, this would be a lot better.
Even
I
if you
think.
you
Yeah.
just keep all the characters that like get some focus, like you keep Soul and like Solid and Nebra and like Leo and
Yeah, like Shiran Tilm, he has a little bit of use at the start of this arc because he gives a map of like where the zombies are invading. Yeah, there's zombies in this arc where the zombies are invading, so that
Zombie
everybody can go where they're going. But like we didn't need him at the the distinguished service ceremony. He could have just busted in and been like, "You don't need to know. Like here, I'll make this." Like we don't really need to know his name. We don't need to know his face. We just
Honestly,
that would give him more focus, honestly. If like he just busted in, like that, he would stand out
Yeah.
more that way.
I guess, yeah.
they could have just not had this be a character and had Sandler do it, because I mean sand and earth magic are pretty fucking similar.
Yeah, he could have made a sand
Or
sand
Mimosa
model
could
of
have
the girl.
fucking done it. She was
Yeah.
there.
He already has
Yeah.
that ability, that's true.
Yeah, but I get the point. I think the point of him like here is to show that like Mimosa still has long way to go, but she's like at this point she's not as major of a character to really necessitate that. We don't really get any like like a line from her
Well-
saying like, "Oh, I really need to improve compared to this guy."
Not even that. I think he more serves the role of like showing us that like any kind of magic, well, any fucking element of
doesn't need to
magic can be a certain kind of magic. Like I'm not describing this well at all, but
Any attribute can be like expanded upon in varying abilities and
well,
shit.
Yeah,
yeah. So any attribute can have like location magic or healing
yeah.
magic.
yeah.
So he's kind of showing that like this isn't an ability that's unique to Mimosa.
That's true.
This is a universal thing that almost anybody could do.
That's true. So yeah, those are our thoughts on this like wave of characters, and we get some more of them because we have this little banquet. Julius kind of leaves, and we're having this banquet. Asta's just kind of wolfing down food because he's a shonen protagonist.
Haha,
and-
boy, big stomach, phony.
Haha, he eats a large amount of food. That is not a normal amount of food that a normal person
They
can eat because it is a lot of
all
food.
What is
do
he,
it.
a
It's not-
mannequin?
He is not being very polite about this amount of food that he
I'm-
is eating, which is a lot.
I'm
Oh,
I'm really struggling to come up with a counter example, but there's not. They all do it. At least to
Doesn't do
some
it.
degree, they all do it.
I think Deku does it.
I
Ichigo?
guess
Is Ichigo an ED boy?
I don't think so.
he's done it
Or-
before.
He did it in the last arc alongside Renji when they're in the.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
when they went to the food palace.
Yeah, I think he also did it like early on, like when he was like training to get a Shikai, maybe or something like
yeah.
that. I don't
Maybe
know.
with like the not full bring training, the visored training, maybe.
Something. I don't know.
Something.
I just remember
But-
something like that happening.
But yeah,
Anyways,
Shon-
this is
Shonen
Black
Boy-
Clover.
Shonen Boy eating a lot of food, and we're getting some comments from people in like the background. And since we know all of these people, it's not like the tournament where it's like random stuffy people in the background. Like we know these
Wh-
people, but like compared to like how kind of like how we were kind of ragging on how the setup for like this wave of characters is being introduced in kind of like a very like this is your name, this is your rank, this is your this is a little tidbit of your personality that we can focus on for a little bit. We're getting a very kind of well thought out balancing act of reactions to Asta based on like who we're supposed to like of this new batch and who we're supposed to dislike. Because like we get characters like Leopold and Fuegoleon who are like just kind of like brushing it off, like they don't really see much of a problem. They kind of like Asta's gusto.
Well, they kind of see like that he's here for a reason. Like he has the merit to be here, so that's all that's necessary. But for the other characters, he has to have like a status to be there.
Yeah,
They see it as very insolent of him to like be in this place.
yeah, but like even like the ones who think he's kind of insolent of doing it, there's some like there's degrees of like
There's
how they
degrees, yes.
react. There's degrees of their reactions showing like how much we're kind of supposed to like or dislike him. Someone like Saul or Charlotte, they're just kind of like Saul makes like a random passing comment how like,
Yeah.
oh boys are dumb, and we're not supposed to, and we're not really supposed to hate her. We're just sort of supposed to think she's kind of quirky. And then like someone like Hamon who just kind of like comments like, oh, that's he's eating it so grossly, but like he's kind of the food guy. We're not supposed to hate
Yeah.
him. We're just supposed to think, oh, he's kind of like going along with the crowd.
And
And
even the
then there's
characters that
people
are like actively like
hating on him.
hating on him, there's still a variance there because clearly Nozel is like to a lesser degree than Neber and Solid. Like
And Adam Sandler.
yeah, Adam
like they-
Sandler, yes.
Like Solid goes at like Solid's like kind of shitting on Noel and Asta sticks up for her, and Solid just kind of like attacks Asta, and Adam Sandler attacks him too.
Yeah.
And like that's a far cry from like Nozel, who's just being like, "What the fuck's up with this peasant?"
He at least
like,
has common sense. Like he understands like
Yeah.
even if like he doesn't like it, like Asta was invited there by the Wizard King, and like you shouldn't like
he's
just
not gonna-
be
He's
a
not gonna throw it out.
dick.
Yeah.
Yo,
So like,
imagine your boss invites like the top 10 employees out for dinner, and then also the new guy who's doing good so
Yeah.
far,
his
and
intern.
you and your bro try to fucking murder the new guy just because he was like, you guys that are being dicks are dicks.
He ordered his food before the boss. We're gonna fucking murder him.
Yeah. Well, he's like annoyed, but he knows not
Yeah.
to break any rules.
Yeah. You come out of this scene. The scene ends when Rades starts his zombie attack on the royal capital, but you come out of the scene thinking like, okay, the Vermilions are pretty cool. The Vermilions are cool. They're cool with us.
Very
They're cool
cool.
with the protagonists, so I'm cool with them. Someone like Hamon or Soul, they're okay. Someone like Adam Sandler and Solid, and Nebra, oh, I hate them. And you're supposed to hate them. They're dicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a nice little balancing act that you can look into and realize, like, yeah, these reactions. They're not just randomly generated like the Royal Tournament ones. They're planned out. Rades, I like Rades. What do you guys think of Rades?
Rades is pretty cool when he doesn't have his horrible Funimation voice actor who'd never drank water in his life.
I love his Funimation dub actor.
It
I
hurts
literally
my
do.
ears when you call him Rades.
That's how they say it.
Do they actually say it in that way in the dub?
How do they say it in the sub?
Rodis.
Oh no, they say
Ra-
Rades.
Rades is like that's like such like an American like pronunciation.
It's spelt like Hades. I don't know.
Yeah,
And
it's like
Oh, I
a
guess.
Euro.
I'm pretty sure it's
like the
supposed to be a
Euro
play
style.
on Hades, Lord of the Underworld.
Oh,
Yeah,
because,
shit! It
absolutely.
is.
Absolutely
I
is.
didn't even know that. Well, I
Yeah.
I had never thought of that. Well, even then, like I don't know, it's just it's
You gotta
that
get used to
Japanese pronunciations. I'm a wee bit gotta.
yeah. But yeah, Rades. He does zombies. I love the way the zombies are drawn because
Yeah.
like even the scrub zombies that like the other characters kill, like they're drawn in a way that like it's imposing, it's scary, but it's not too scary or too detailed because zombies aren't a big thing of this story. They're only a thing when Rades is around, which is
Yeah.
this arc and reincarnation arc.
They also have silly names like Jimmy and Dave
And Carl.
and Carl. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that his main zombies have just these like normal ass
The
names.
boring ass whitest suburban names.
The, no, this is zombie number 9, Billy.
Dude, like the one he busts out when like way later when he's back with a vengeance is just called Jimmy, and I fucking love that.
No, that's
That's good.
that's Mikhail Caesar. Jimmy is this
Right,
arc.
Jimmy is this one's big boss.
Oh,
but-
is it? I
yeah,
thought
or-
Carl was
Or
the
maybe
big
the
boss.
second one. I don't know. It's
I
been a couple of weeks already.
I love, but I just love that.
Yeah.
I am Rades, and these are my minions. Jimmy, Carl, Bob.
Dude, the thing is, Rades is like crazy overpowered. He can find a dead guy and give that dead guy back his magic, but like make him like a fucking mind slave. It's so fucking powerful.
Yeah, he's just out there, and he sees Noel and Leopold, who are decently strong, and he's just opens his tomb, and he's like, "You guys are gonna wrestle with Jimmy," and like he's able to kind of
God.
keep them both occupied. Radius is cool. I like him.
Yeah.
And he
He's
wrestle with Jimmy.
one of my notes is I had no recollection of the youth stealing witch bitch.
Oh yeah, she
Like
is kind of just like on
there.
Heath's level of just like, oh, you're there.
But
Yeah.
dude, there's a guy even lower than Heath on the Midnight Sun tier
Oh,
list.
you mean George?
No, I mean Georg, because that's what the fucking manga called him.
What?
Georg, what?
Georg. If you look up Black Clover George, it says his official English name is Georg.
What?
York. Sounds like a thing you say when like you're getting out of bed and you're tired. Like,
Oh yeah, this guy.
York.
Yeah, the random wind
Well,
mage.
well, it's George, which is it in Japanese like syllables. It's Giorgio or
Official
Giorgio.
English is Georg. Viz and
Where does it say
Funimation
that?
agreed
Oh, it
on
does. Oh, what?
Georg.
Official
Georg.
English.
That's so weird, right?
Why?
Weird. They
Actual
try-
name.
Just like a name. I wish he became one of Rady's zombies. He'd fit right in with Jimmy and Carl. George.
Georg.
York. Oh
Interesting.
yeah, that witch. I like her design. I love how fuzzy it is. And I also like that it's later confirmed in a data book that she
I
is from the Forest of
do
Witches.
like
Oh
yes.
yeah, I was thinking that when I saw her, like looking back
It's
on
actually,
it after I was
like-
reminded of her existence.
You
It's
don't
like a
even
little-
realize it until like later when they actually introduce the Forest of Witches, but like that
Yeah,
like
it's-
witches are like a
Yeah,
separate entity.
Yeah, you see her and you think, oh, it's a magic series. Of course, somebody would look like a witch, but
Yeah.
it's probably just like an aesthetic thing. But then you get
But
to the
that's just
Forest
a
of
whole
Witches.
culture.
Same with Vanessa, and like then you see and Dorothy, the Magic Knight,
Dorothy,
Captain of
yeah,
Coral
she's also-
Peacocks. So like you get this idea like, oh, it's just an aesthetic, but then you see the Forest of Witches and you're like, oh, there's witches in this story that are like a special subsection of people, and like it doesn't seem like it comes out of nowhere because you know Vanessa and you know
You know a
Catherine.
couple of them already.
Catherine and Dorothy. It
Yeah.
doesn't come out of nowhere.
And the thing is though, like are really all the witches that we see in the series actually like from this witches village? Like because we do
Seems
see like a decent amount like just like background witches like early on. So
we?
I
Yeah,
don't know
it's
like
weird to think about. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely witch hats in like random like panels with like civilians in the background.
yeah.
Huh.
And
Well,
like
all
remember when they went to the black market? There was like some witches in there.
I don't know, but all the named witch hat wearers are like from the Forest of Witches. Vanessa,
Yeah.
Catherine, Dorothy. It's a cool
It's something to think
cool,
about.
cool use of a throwaway character to further set up that idea of witches.
Yeah.
And her fight with Yuna is pretty cool. And I like how Charmy is the one to end it because Charmy's there. She's gonna
Oh,
eat
yeah.
some food. Classic Charmy eating some food. Haha.
Mm.
Vanessa kind of crashes that little party. I love how in the anime the guy who's making Charmy's food does the like sprinkling meme. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No idea.
What?
I gotta
Where
find
they
it.
fucking like throw their hand up excessively and like throw salt down, but it's like a bunch of shit photoshopped into the salt.
Yeah, it's something like that. Oh,
Yeah.
here it is. I'll send a picture. Show the picture on screen because we have
Yeah,
a screen.
Yeah. Do it.
Babe,
You
where
do
is
it. You're doing it.
Well, I don't
I'm-
see the image yet.
I'm about
Mike,
I'm
show me your
about to
fucking
send
toes
it.
already.
I'm about to send it. Hold your toes. I'm sending it.
I'm interested because I just don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, send it in screen caps.
Oh, this.
Yeah, this meme. I know
Wait,
this meme.
wait. So what moment are you talking about? I wasn't paying attention.
In the anime, the chef who's making
This
Charmy's
zany chef
food.
Oh yeah, he
does-
does the meme.
Yeah.
I
Look,
forgot about that.
Here, I'll send it in the screen caps.
Yeah, I saw it.
I
Meme.
thought this random throwaway chef dude was very
Yeah,
amusing.
Yeah, I like
this-
him.
like
It's
nobody acts like this. This isn't like the typical Black Clover NPC.
That's true. I like how they gave him kind of a personality. It's fun.
He looks like he's from a different anime. Like even just the way he's designed.
Oh yeah, he has like a totally different kind of face.
Mm.
Yeah. Good.
But yeah, I like how the Vanessa fight ends with Charmy thinking she's gonna
Steal
instead
the
of like
food.
steal her food. So I love the panel of
Wow,
her
you're
going like,
cheap
I said
magic.
no, and then she just
Dude,
beats the shit out of her.
Charmy is the best character. It's
I love
not.
that panel. There's a
She's-
lot of
she's
there's a
top
lot of
10,
great
I guess.
panels.
She's not my favorite, but she's the best.
She might be my favorite, honestly. But, like, the art in Black Clover has been good from the start, but like the amount of awesome panels and memorable
yeah.
panels in this arc alone, I sent a lot
Oh,
in
yeah.
the screen caps chat. Like the art in this arc is great. I think this is where the art really kind of like picks up in terms of like personality. Love it.
So I don't like Charmy as much as you guys do, but it's solidly one of my favorite things about the Black Clover aesthetic, that she just like changes art styles based on her mood.
I love that. Yeah.
It is very cool.
Gremlin mode, beauty
Gremlin
mode. Eventually buff bitch mode.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, since we're talking about characters and characters we like, what do you think of Fuegoleon? And more to the point, what do you think of how much he was like? Do you think he had enough time to be built up before the swerve at the end of the arc, where he's like,
Oh,
oh, he's hurt?
Definitely not.
No.
But he's cool. I totally agree that he didn't get enough time to shine before he was so dramatically taken out of commission.
Yeah,
But
for so long.
for like later shit to happen, he definitely had to be taken out.
Mm.
So the thing is, I agree. Like he is very important. Like he's an important character. Like, and it's apparent, like because of like how he's taken out and like how he comes back later. But he just doesn't have, like, we haven't had enough time with him. So
Yeah.
I think there should have been, like, he should have been more important, like, earlier
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
That's it.
it feels like Black Clover is a fast-paced story. Like this is one of the times when that kind of works against it. It feels like stuff
Yeah.
they're trying to show of him to make him seem all cool and important, and oh look how great he is. Look at how Asta's reacting to him. Asta and Noel and Leopold, they all look up to him. It feels like that's all like fast forward. We're getting all these admittedly
Yeah,
really solid scenes of him. Like I love the line. I really love the line that he says to Noel, where it's like, being weak isn't a choice, but like being weak isn't
Oh
bad.
yeah,
But
definitely.
staying
That was
weak
one of the
is.
coolest lines.
And
Hell
that
yeah.
leads to like Noel's declaration of "I can get stronger," which definitely cements her as a very good like shonen
So-
female.
Dude.
Trademark shonen female.
Noelle's like a lot better than a lot of main girls.
Mm,
I love her.
yeah. As far as female leads, go,
She
she's
kind
a
of
really
gets
good
her,
one.
like, she gets her awakening, like, where she has to, like, actually start to do more pretty early on in the series compared to, like, Sakura, for example.
Yeah, Ryoraka or like Orihime.
Hmm.
Compared to them, Noelle is very much
Like,
on par with the main boys.
like she was useless in the last arc, but like
Well.
that was just one arc, and like now in this arc, like she's getting the development where she realizes that she has to work hard too, and like from
yeah.
now on she's going to be doing that.
Yeah, and like Fuegoleon's a big part of like making that click for her. and like Leopold's talking him up the whole time, and we're seeing from Asta's perspective how he takes over in the fight against Rades, how quickly he fucks up Rades. That like this guy's awesome, and like we're supposed to get like just like how the reactions to Asta in that like eating scene like led to our is trying to lead us in a certain direction of how to react to those characters. Like, oh, I hate Adam Sandler and Solid. Oh, it's Saul and Hammond. They're okay, I guess. Oh, I like Leopold and Fugolia. They're cool because they like Asta. In the same way, Asta like looking up to Fuegoleon in this like couple of chapters is supposed to inform us that we should be really liking and looking up to Fuegoleon too. That way, when the swerve happens, he's taken out by this shadowy figure. Who could it be? And then teleported back, and he's like all injured and shit. We're supposed to be like, oh no, this cool guy, but it's more like, oh no, him.
Yeah.
It's very like clear to me that Fuegoleon is like meant to be like not the main character, but like he's like the generation above main character. Like, you know, like he's meant to be like Asta's mentor in a way. Like not his direct mentor, but like he's like the
he's like somebody that Asta can look to as an example.
As an
Yeah.
example,
Sort of-
because
It's not like he's not his Kakashi, but he's like his like Asuma or Might Guy or B. I haven't reached that part of the series, but like he's not really a mentor to Asta, but he's someone that Asta can look at as an example of what a Magic Knight should be.
Because in the first arc, when we get introduced to the captains, it's explained that the closest person to being the Wizard King, like out of the captains, is Vengeance, like the captain of the Golden Dawn. But like that doesn't really seem to be the case. Like it, from my perspective, like the way I see it, it's actually fucking Fuegoleon who is like really like the next in line, because he's all like, in addition to being like one of the like most respected captains, he's also like a royal. Like he is like one of the people who is like next in line to be like the literal king. Also,
Yeah, that's something they talk about. Like people are saying like he could be the Wizard King and the King to be the true king.
Yeah. He's like he's like the clear like choice as like the next Wizard King.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Vengeance hasn't really done much.
Favorite.
That's
But, like,
where I think it would have been cool if Fuegoleon
Like-
actually hosted the fucking exam at the start instead of Vengeance.
Yeah, that would be a solid
That's
improvement.
that would be an improvement, but like Vengeance
He has his place in there also.
he has his place in the story, and that place heavily involves and like so it's important that like we know is very like he's a go-getter. He wants, and like when he gets his choice of every like Magic Knight squad, he's obviously going to pick the one that's going to get him closest to becoming Wizard King fastest. So it needs to be the person who is closest to the Wizard
Honestly,
King throne that he can work
You know
on.
what I
So
think?
in that sense, it had to be Vengeance for the sake of who's a main character. I agree that Fuegoleon fits like what you're saying better, but like it's kind of
Yes.
gotta be Vengeance.
I think the problem that we're having is that they should be the same character. Like
Oh, that's
They-
an idea.
like
That's an interesting take.
the different elements of the two characters, like they work fine on their own, but like if you put them together, like and merge them into one character, then it just makes sense.
Oh,
That's
I
I
see what you're
I
saying.
think that would have been a much better way to go about it, because like clearly has to join the squad that is like the best squad, and like whose leader has to be next in line for the
Wizard King, yeah.
the Wizard King. But like here we have these two characters that kind of both have what it takes to be the Wizard King, but like one of them like more so, like judging by like what we see here, and like
Right.
it doesn't it would make more sense if there was just one character like that,
It's like
because that's how it's
Fuegoleon
played
is-
off in the first chapter, but it just doesn't work.
Fuegoleon is like he's out of the action so much that we really never get a solid read on like the deeper parts of his personality beyond the stuff that we're supposed to look up to alongside Asta. So I get what you're saying. If you took that stuff that we've learned about him here that we like that we're supposed to look up to, the way he treats Asta in that like he doesn't look down on Asta because he's a peasant. He's taking Asta's dream at face value and he's saying like, okay, I'm going to consider you a rival for Wizard King then. The way that he's like expertly takes down Rades and sets an example, the way he motivates Noel and Leopold, that kind of stuff can easily be transplanted onto Vengeance and Vengeance be put in these situations like Fuegoleon, and what comes out of it is a much more solid character.
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
kind of what you're saying, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just they've got good elements to them, but not enough to stand on their own.
Yeah, putting these two into one would lead to a much more solid character. I've never thought about that, but I think you're really onto
Yeah.
something with that.
Would have never crossed my mind.
Okay then. So I actually have a little bit on like the magic system, because like we see here in this arc, like we saw it in the last arc, we saw it even before then, but here we see like different people like with the same magic attribute, but they actually have like their magic is like different. Like they have every person has their own like theme to their magic. Like even if they have a certain attribute, and it might be a very common attribute like water or fire or earth or whatever, anything like that, they still have like something that distinguishes. Like when you see their spell, like you know it's from this one character. Like
It's like an aesthetic.
yeah,
Leopold has
solid.
fire, but it's like tornadoes, twisters of fire.
Yes,
Fuegoleon's fire powers are all like lion based.
lions. Yeah,
Noelle's got like she's got
She's-
water, but
she's
it's
got
all
the-
sea
well,
serpent, sea dragon.
it's the sea god, which is like I guess somehow related to her. And like Solid has like the snakes, the water snakes.
It's like spider webs or something, or is
No,
it
they're
snakes?
they're
Am I-
snakes.
Oh, I'm confusing it with Nebra. She is the spider was spider based mist stuff.
No, I
Isn't
don't
it, does
think
she have
so.
like mist
No,
spider
it's just
web or
mists.
something?
I don't think there's any actual like there's actually any theme to her magic, if I'm
Sure.
remembering correctly.
I don't know,
I
but
mean,
what were you
either
saying?
way, it's really cool how the elemental magic is like
Yeah.
elaborated on in
And-
Black Clover.
And Seke, his magic theme is Seke.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, like, fucking, yo, sit me down in a room coming up with fire magic themes for like 1,000 years. I wouldn't come up with fucking baseball player. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Magna too.
Yeah. And like Lux is also like themed around like it being like a close range like lightning kind of thing.
yeah.
Like his armor as that he wears.
Themed around armor because he's a berserker.
Yeah.
It's true. And like it yeah, it's like there's different, and even like Mars before, like with his whole like god and mythology theme to his powers. It's like it's all elemental stuff, but it's never like
Yeah,
like,
when it
it's only
comes
really
to the
the same with
characters that
goblins.
matter, their magic is like unique to them. Like there's something
yeah.
special that sets them apart.
There's an aesthetic to it.
Yeah,
It's all about the aesthetic.
it is all about the aesthetic.
Charmy is sheep's
Well,
with aesthetic. Sheep.
she has magic. Anyways, do we have anything else on this arc?
I think we can
Um,
save like Valtos and Sally are very like minor of this arc. I feel like we can
They
save
are.
them for the next arc where they're much more prominent.
That is
They'll have
Yeah.
more to say.
Dude,
Uh,
Julius's ability to like near one shot the Eye of the Midnight Sun until Lick came to save everyone was fucking crazy.
yeah, I wanted to touch on that scene. It was crazy. You always gotta kind of show the person on top in action at some point.
Yeah.
Like when we saw the third Hokage fight Orochimaru,
yeah.
when we saw All Might fight Nomu, when we saw Yamamoto fight Kyoraku and Ukitake
Well,
very
they didn't
briefly.
really fight. They just
They
like
didn't really-
they
they
powered
didn't-
up and then
Yeah.
didn't get the chance to fight at all.
They didn't really fight, but we saw like Isane's reaction and the landscape changing
Yeah.
around Yamamoto. That was something. We knew his power was fire. That's something. And like it's cool to see the big guy kind of take on some scrubs just to show like there's a reason he's the big guy on top, and it's like good
Yeah,
to set that up for
definitely.
when he's like in an actual fight. Like All Might versus Nomu was setting up All Might's in an actual fight before his big fight against All for One.
It was also like setting up his weakness and like his
Yeah.
whole
Yeah,
thing.
that's true. Like it's cool to see Julius's magic in action here before his big fight against
Against Licht.
Licht later. And I
Oh, wow.
really like the panel where like we first kind of see Licht, that big bright flash. It's like a 1 and a little bit page spread. The way
Yeah.
the way he's drawn silhouetted in the light is really it's very well done. I love that panel.
Good art all around.
It's hard to show blinding light in a black and white manga, but it's very well done here. I think that's everything we had to cover.
Yeah, I don't have anything else, to be honest.
Took a while, but we finished our first episode. Ash, anything you wanted left to cover?
Good job, gamer gang. I feel like I had something really stupid I wanted to say, but nah. This was good.
Yeah, so that's us. That is Shonen BattleCast, episode 1.
Yeah.
Signing out. Come
Very
back
fun.
next time for more
Later,
Black Clover.
gamers.
Yay.
Later, gamers.
All right, so real quick, there's just one last thing before we close off this video. We forgot to mention a couple things. We have some links that we just want to plug, obviously. The others don't really, they didn't want to share any links, so that's fine. But I've got my Twitter. It's Naruto64. I've also got my my anime list profile. That seems like is pretty important to have for this podcast, because like it's about anime and manga and stuff like that. So that's cool. Also, our channel art was done by an artist. We had it commissioned recently. So here's their links. What's their username again? Shrublike. Yeah, Shrublike on Instagram and Tumblr. I guess they don't have a Twitter. I don't know, whatever. I don't use either of those, but I'm linking them. There's the link. Click on it. All right. Also, next time, probably like 2 weeks from now, maybe a week, I don't know. We haven't finalized the exact date, but the next episode is going to come out in, whenever. And we're going to be covering the Eye of the Midnight Sun arc and the Seabed Temple arc. Those are the next 2 story arcs, which in the manga that covers chapters 38 to 74. So if you would like to follow along with this podcast for whatever reason, then you can read those chapters or the episodes that correspond in the anime. Is there any filler in that section? Probably. Yes. Actually, no, there's no filler in that section. So, yeah, literally just watch all those episodes, and we're not going to be covering any filler in that. So that's cool. Yeah, I think that's about it for this. So we'll see you guys next time on the next episode of Shonen BattleCast.